Yeah, that'll be good. All right, shall I refresh?
Oh, here we go. I just started it, so give it a few seconds.
Oh, okay.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Marathon. I'm chess director Abel Talamantes of the Mechanics Institute. And with me right here is FIDE Master Paul Whitehead, head coach of the Endgame Lab that will start next Monday, head coach of some summer camps, and head coach of his own class on Wednesdays, and just all around chess guru. So
I don't know about chess guru. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Well, I know how to move a few pieces sometimes.
So welcome everyone to the Tuesday Night Marathon. This is really kind of a unique experiment that we're doing today because it's the Tuesday Night Marathon as you know it. It's game 35 plus 2 is the time control. And what's really unique about what we're doing today compared to what we've done in the past, because usually we're running a free tournament, right, the Tuesday night online, is that in this case we're actually doing all the pairings manually. So Judith has been empowered by chess.com because she's an extraordinary organizer and tournament director, and she's actually worked with chess.com to educate a lot of other tournament directors in terms of their online activities. So we thought it would be cool to have a Tuesday night marathon as we know it. It's going to be over 3 weeks. Tonight is round 1 and 2. We posted the pairings online, so if you go to the registration link, and actually what I'll do is in the Twitch chat, I'm going to put the link. There it is right there. So if you follow that link right there, you actually see the advanced pairings in the registration list. And so the matchups are set for round 1 and 2, or for round 1 actually. And then at 8 o'clock, we'll start round 2. Oh,
wow, that late?
Yeah, because with the G35 plus 2 time control, we figure it's going to be, an hour 15, probably at the most. But then we need time to actually input the results and then make the pairings for round 2.
Right.
Because this is all being done by human hands, not, the chess.com servers.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. I think it's fascinating for the players because the players are going to be paired according to their USCF rating. And actually, if you look at the entries, it really reflects, for the most part, the common Tuesday night marathon crowd. We have Kyron Griffith as the top entry. We have Elliot Winslow is in the field. Eric Lee, FIDE Master Eric Lee, he is back in Rui. Little Red Riding Hood is ready to wreak havoc on everyone. And we have a huge core of like 1,700 to like 2,000 players. So it's going to be really competitive. And we have 2 sections. We have an under 1,600 section also. So it's really going to be an exciting evening, and it's going to be an exciting weeks of chess coming up. And before I say anything, let's really give props to Judith, who's she's not going to be on the broadcast because she's going to be working hard, doing the pairings, gathering all the results, doing all that support. But she's already in the chat right now, so she's not going to be absent from the broadcast, not at all. And so this is kind of really exciting stuff. I mean, if you look at the players that are in, John McCumsky, who's the great tournament director from Sacramento. And our partner in the senior championship last year and this year, Simona Neiberg, who's a very talented female player. She's playing. We have a lot of strong kids playing the event, so that's kind of exciting. And the other thing about this format is that players can take buys because we're pairing manually. Players can request buys for future rounds. So if there are players out there You can take a bye in a future round. I don't know why you'd want to and miss out on the fun and the action, but
you never know. Somebody might have, to cut their toenails or something.
Right? Just take you out of the action. So what makes this tournament even more unique is that when the games are on, it's not like typical chess.com tournament where you can just like look up the tournament and you see all the games. I'm literally going to have to find the games for the players and then go that way. So it's sort of being run as its own separate event outside of chess.com, although we are using the chess.com platform. So
will the standings be posted on the mechanics website?
Yeah, we're posting it already on the Tuesday Night Marathon page.
Okay.
So even after round one, Judith will put up the pairings for round two, and she'll put up the standings for round one. So on that link, and I'll probably just keep posting that link every now and then. You follow that link, you'll be able to follow all the results, and it's really nice because it also has the screen names of the players, so that people can follow them online or look for them. So really exciting stuff, and I just want to give a shout out to the players for participating in this event, because not only is it a fun event, it's a Tuesday night marathon, we have really, really strong players participating, but one of the things that's really cool is that when you register for an event like this, in addition to all the coolness that it has, it supports the Mechanics Institute, right? It supports what we're doing because the whole lockdown has affected us, even though we're still running events nonstop, even though we're really fortunate to be very stable in a lot of ways in terms of the institute itself. It still helps to have events like this that help support the Mechanics Institute. So we really want to thank all the players for participating, and we hope we provide them an awesome tournament over the next 3 weeks. But just know that this supports us at the Mechanics, the employees of the Mechanics Institute, and it does not go unnoticed or forgotten. So thank you, everyone, for being a part of it.
And thank you and Judith for putting this on.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Actually, I was texting Judith earlier, like everything was really falling in place. We exceeded what we thought was going to be our goal turnout, which was 40. I think we're at 53 or 54, which is amazing. And this is round one. We anticipate people will want to join late, because people can still register and play round two at 8 o'clock. So if anyone's watching, they're thinking to themselves, hey, I'm really bummed out. I missed out. You haven't missed out. You can still register. Just follow that link I put up. I'm just going to hit that link one more time. Just hit that link. You can still register for the event, and you can play round two at 8 o'clock, get a half point bye for this round. Or you can join next week. So we're looking
for the glory
of it all. Actually, if you look at the open section too, it's a really competitive, strong section. There's no quote unquote ringers. There's no GMs playing the field. It's our strong mechanics regular players. So this is really exciting. And for everyone watching, you're sort of participating and watching us try something new, because this is a totally new format. What we're doing, we haven't even test run this or tried this. The manual pairing, the Tuesday night marathon, but we figure, might as well. Judith's telling me Michael Lum just registered. So players that just registered late, they'll be given an extra game, an extra online rated game for the first round, but then they'll be able to jump into round two and play round two.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Just like the regular TNM, right?
Yeah.
So so this it's pretty exciting. It's like I'm waiting to see how it turns out and then what happens.
Where's Carlson? Is Carlson gonna register for this?
He's not
one?
registered. What is his chess.com screen name? I actually don't know. So
that's a good
if
point.
anyone's listening, throw it in the chat just for our knowledge what his screen name is. So it's exciting. We got 5 minutes. I know that at close to 6:30. I know Judith has the pairings, but she has to actually pair the players in chess.com. So I think the games will start as she pairs each one, and she'll just go down the list one by one. And the cool thing about her pairing is like she can assign the color. So what she does is she enters all the names into the tournament pairing software, SwissSys we used. It generates the pairings according to the USCF rules and what have you. And then she'll pair the players by color and board, according to that. So, yeah, really cool. We'll see what happens. Hopefully everything turns out good.
I'm really looking for it. So what is the top board? What's the top board?
Yeah, so let me run down that. So board one, we're going to have Satvik Krishnan, who's 1797, playing Kyron Griffith, FIDE Master, 2470. Board two is going to have Eric Lee, 2369, against Alexander Huberts, who's played at Mechanics. Board three is going to be Barbara Goodkind against Elliot Winslow.
Wow.
So that'll be a good match. Board four is Rui Yang Yan, 2242 against Ryan Tiang. Board five, Kevin Fong, the lawyer, is going to be playing Austin Mai, 2140.
And is this the first tournament that Kevin's played in a long time, I think?
No, he's actually played a couple of Mechanics right before the lockdown.
Oh, okay.
And he's played online also with the handle. True to the attorney form, his handle is Chess Appeals. So, and then on board six, Pranav Sairam, who's 2087 against Kevin Joe Roberts, and down the line. And we have a lot of Mechanics regulars in the field. Christian Klemenz is in there, Erica Malikan, Akko Haydari,
nice,
Felix German, Jonah Bush, Rudolph Breet, who plays online in our club frequently, Simona Neiberg's in the field, Javier Silva from Sacramento, Caesar Tamandong is in there, Jeremy Cawthon from Lowell, Lauren Goodkind, John McCumsky, Stuart Katz, Sacramento.
It's like a who's who of
Adam Mercado, Mechanics, local
in the area.
And then in the under 1600 section, Daniel Perlov, he's probably one of the favorites. Danny Cow, Charlene.
Where's
Kwok.
Michael Walder?
Yeah, actually, he's not in there. Actually, let's see if Elliot can pressure him to get in there. I know he did not register as of today.
Interesting.
And then just be aware, one of the things for players and for anyone watching is that since chess.com, this is not part of a chess.com tournament, there's actually not going to be a tournament chat available because it's not an event. So if fans, players, anyone watching, feel free to use the Twitch broadcast as like the official tournament chat. So
on the other hand, if they do, they'll be hearing our commentary, right?
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not the players, and hopefully it's
right.
Because even on chess.com, people spectating can jump in the chat and talk.
Right.
So now they won't have a chat available, but hopefully they'll utilize Twitch and chat in there, and I'll be looking at the chat, and Judith's looking at the chat, and the whole world's gonna be looking at the chat. So that's where we're at.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And how's the building doing? You went in there today?
I did, and
the chess room is alive and well.
The chess pieces were waiting for us.
Yeah.
They're waiting for us to come back. It actually looked very familiar. There was really nothing. It was just like the building was closed, and I walked in, and there was just. The chess pieces were all set up, and it looked like they were just waiting for the doors to open. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, I was there a few weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, or I can't remember. And the one thing I have to do every time is I set all the pieces up. It's got to be ready to go. And it's fun to see that because, like you said, it's familiar. It just feels good to see the chess room ready.
Yeah.
Even if we know it's going to be a while, it's nice to see it like ready to go. So let me take a peek and see what's going on with here. Let me see. And it looks like some of the games have started already. So
all right, we got to look at them.
So let me pull up some games here. And
excellent.
Great. And actually, I'm seeing now I might have to make some.
There he is, Kyron Griffith. And so the time control is 35 minutes.
Yeah, G35 plus 5. And I'm going to be pulling up some games just to have them up.
A 5-second increment.
2 second. 2 second,
2-second
increment. Yeah. 2 second increment. So let me pull up a bunch of games.
Yeah.
And sort of get that rolling. 35 G35 2-second increment. It's going to be USCF online rated. So let me go there. Elliot.
I'm gonna have an apple piece while I don't have to talk.
And Chiron. Oops. Uh-oh. I think oh man. I think I might have to adjust this.
So a quick question. How are we doing in those team matches?
Just give me a sec here. Oh, the chess.com chess league?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a let me pull up these matches again. There we go. So we had a win. We played Iowa, the Iowa Pawn Stormers on Saturday, and we got a win. We got hammered the week before.
Right.
Yeah, so...
against who? Who was that?
It was a team from Brazil.
From Brazil.
Curitiba. Club de Ajedrez de Curitiba. And, we took a little beating, but, who couldn't use a little beating?
They knew who they were up against, and they put out their A team.
They absolutely did have their A team. So, yeah. Let me see. I think I may need to fix... let me do some maintenance here. Let's see.
Yeah, Goko fan. I don't know if that was the national team of Brazil.
It was tough. I mean, they had their absolute top level players.
I saw a picture of Mecking the other day on the internet.
There we go. All right, let's jump to the games. I think there we go. And Kyron Griffith's on board 1 against Sadvik Krishnan. Kyron is playing black. Let me see if I can get the board orientation.
No, that's fine. Board orientation's fine.
There we go.
Yeah.
And what do we think?
This is a fairly typical kind of English opening. It looks like black has done well here. He's got the nice pawn center, and white's made the usual sort of stereotype moves, but then black has as well. So it's still a fight. I like the fact that black has options here of playing e4, d4, even d takes c4, make rook c1 look kind of like almost a wasted move. So I think black is doing well here.
So transition to Eric Lee Wepkins here. As white. and Eric Lee is playing Alexander Huberts.
Yeah, so this is some kind of Benoni where black has played bishop g4 rather than the usual e6 and taking on d5 thing. And white's played his queen out to b3, and now black's taken on f3. So, of course, white's wondering, why can't I take the pawn at b7? And that's a very good question.
So, like, what's Eric thinking about right here? It seems like you just gotta.
Well, he's thinking, what's black gonna do if I take on b7?
Right,
I mean,
exactly. I just noticed that.
That's so he's thinking of that. If black plays knight to d7, well, then I think white's happy. Just takes on f3, and he's up a pawn. On the other hand, black's got other moves. He's got, like, on queen b7, black could even try bishop takes g2 as a strange-looking move.
It's like a desperado play.
Desperado, the bishop, and actually maybe even be a pawn up at the end of that. So
let's switch and
interesting position already out of the opening. Yeah.
Let's check on Barbara Goodkind against Elliot Winslow.
Okay.
Elliot Winslow is black.
Well, this is one of those, new kind of Verisovs or whatever with bishop g5 and knight c3. I'm guessing that those two moves were played.
I mean, what do you think of that f3 by white?
I mean, it's fits in with sort of the white strategy to
like e4, playing e4. Or...
Yeah, maybe to play e4, deny e4, the e4 and g4 squares to the. So it's Bologan's line, black against the London system. Okay.
That's Michael Walder as Golko fan.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Let's go to Rui.
Well, okay. Just stay here for 1 second.
I switched it.
That's all right.
Just because there's
look
action.
At this. Yeah, this is looks like a dragon variation.
And this is Rui against Ryan Tiong, who is 1790 rated.
Okay. Well, white is has sacrificed a piece, but it looks like it's close to mate almost.
Kind of what's the continuation?
Also, actually, white hasn't sacrificed a piece. I mean, after e takes d5, of course.
Right.
I think white's just winning here, it looks like to me. I'm trying to think of what black might have here. If white just plays a simple... This is a strong move, of course.
Bishop h6.
Yeah.
So
it's forcing. So bishop h6. It looks like black's probably going to get mated in a few moves. That's what it looks like to me.
All right, and for those of you joining the broadcast, This is the Tuesday Night Marathon, different from the Tuesday Night Online. All the games are going. All the games for this tournament are being manually paired. So, Chief Tournament Director Judith has manually paired all the games. They're being paired according to their standard over-the-board USCF rating, and that's what's making this tournament unique. Is that we're pairing according to USCF rules, and the round times are prescribed. So this is round 1. Round 2 is going to be at 8 p.m. tonight. And then round 3 and 4 is next week, and then 5 and 6 the week after that. So we got a prize fund, strong players, great action. What more could you ask for? Not a whole lot.
No, it's and a great start to the tournament for Rui here, who's.
And here's Rui's about to chase the king all over the place, right?
Yeah, so now king f7 looks forced. Otherwise, the rook joins in a little easily.
You just go
queen
and after
h7.
queen
h7, king has to step up to f6, and it's hard to believe that it's going to be able to survive.
Yeah.
But you never know. Okay, so g5 check. Yeah, that looks like the end. g5 check.
Yeah, pretty.
The black king probably has to come up to e5.
So
and then Yeah, there's no hope.
It looks like Rui's going to be able to go have dinner and a snack and watch a television show and still be back in time for round 2 at 8.
Yeah, this is
King F7.
Black has to play King F7, and then after Queen H7 check has to come up with the king, and then G5 check forces King E5, and
can you go Queen G7?
Yeah, then I guess the knight can go back to F6, and then Queen takes E7 check is just crushing. Yeah.
All right, so
this game is basically over.
So we're gonna go to Tejas Mahesh, who is let me switch the. I didn't want that.
Oh, I can look at it from the black side.
Yeah, it's more OCD.
Okay.
So Tejas Mahesh, who is black, is playing Erica Malikan, who is white. And she's a 1600 player, but she's a pretty strong blitz player, and she's a very experienced player. So even though Tejas is rated, 2000 plus, Erica can fight with him. So he's got to watch out. How does it look like to you so far?
Well, Black's opening up the game for the 2 bishops. Looks like there's a question here of is Black winning a pawn after E takes D4, Knight takes D4. White has to find some compensation. So, and then it might be there. Knight takes D4, Queen D4, Bishop B5 check, and Black's going to lose the right to castle.
Let me move over to Eric Lee's
game.
So
that's my quick evaluation.
So here's Eric Lee's game. We talked about him taking on B7. It looks like he's done that.
Oh, and it looks like Black did take on G2.
Yeah.
How about that?
And castled.
Called it.
Still castled.
Queen B7, Knight G7, and then castled. Yeah. So Black ended up sort of with this kind of. Ultimately this should favor White with the 2 bishops and the chance and the big pawn center, but these positions are tricky, and so it's open still. So
I flipped to this game only because I promised in an earlier email that I would check up on John McCumsky, who is White here. So John McCumsky, do not pay attention to that rating. He is not.
Yeah.
He is not 1200. He's 1800. He's 1838. He's playing Ganesh Mathrubootham, 1494.
Oh, okay. Right.
And it looks like it's in the opening.
It's in the opening, but White's got a nice game here, for sure. And I mean, I always kind of like these positions for White. So these can be, it depends on who, on your style. If you like these French or blockading kind of positions. But in your chess career, you'll find yourself on the White side of these kind of positions sometimes, and then one day you'll find yourself on the Black side, and so.
And the game we're looking at now is a game between 2 strong girl players. This is as White, Rachel Tiang, who's 1624 rated, and Simona Neiberg, who's 1906. And I think Simona's even played for the U.S. girls team representing.
Simona's White as Black in this game?
Simona's Black. Roboro 3, and let me just for my own. There we go. So Simona is Black and Rachel is White.
Right.
And at least with the G35 time control, there's time for things to get thought out a little bit more than our standard Tuesday G2 or G10 plus 2.
We hope.
Well, we hope. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty incredible blunders, actually, with the blitz time controls. It's fun to watch, actually.
I think Judith is chastising me in the chat because John McCumsky, who I think she's referring, is actually playing Roger Shee. So
okay.
It is not the pairing that is online. It's a different extra rated game pairing. So
Okay.
I apologize, Judith. Please forgive me for that indiscretion. And then this is the thing, right? I mean, just like any standard tournament, if things change at the last minute, you know, adjustments need to be made, and I'm guessing that was one of the things that that happened. Let's go back to Rui's game.
Okay, all right.
So what has?
Well, if you could go back a move or two, is it possible?
Yeah,
absolutely. See what happened.
So this is where we were, right? And then went there. Oh, took the knight.
So after King F7, Roy took the knight. Go back one more move. Put the knight back on D5.
There. Okay,
yeah,
so there.
It seems to. No, yeah. It seems to me, no, instead of E takes D5, that Queen H7 check is sort of decisive here.
Yeah, instead went that route, took the knight,
Right, and black took their only shot, which was to take on D4, but this is still obviously tough for black, but maybe he can, yeah, this is hopeless.
Yeah, just because that C1 is covered by the queen.
Yeah, that helps too. So maybe this was even simpler. And black was, it was a little bit tricky to find the mate there. And who knows, I might be overlooking something myself. It does happen.
You know, and we're trying to promote a class, and you're talking about that you do overlook things. So it doesn't...
on a consistent basis, you know.
You overlook things except in the Endgame, which you are teaching, which you are teaching next Monday.
Yeah, I'll be teaching an Endgame class starting on a 6-week course. It's actually really challenging. It's a challenging thing to put together a sort of a beginner to, or, you know, intermediate Endgame class, which is probably the only kind of class I'd be qualified to teach. But still, it's to find the material and stuff. It's a challenge, and it's going to be I think it'll be a good class. Very interesting.
So I've switched it back to the board one, Kyron Griffith and Satvik Krishnan. Kyron is black.
Yeah, well, I mean, it looks to me like black's got a nice game here. It's a complicated situation, but there's pressure on that C4 pawn, and the white pieces are, the knight back on E1 does not inspire me. It looks like black's been playing a sort of white's been playing a sort of a reactive game here, and black seems to be calling the shots. And in fact, the threat is knight is taking on C4, and then Queen B5, knight C4, Queen B5. Yeah, this is white's position. His pieces are completely uncoordinated. This is really tough.
Let's see.
But you know, the more I look, the more I see, of course, as it is with chess, any chess game. Knight D6 looks like an interesting move here, and you know, white, of course, has to try to mix things up and definitely get this knight back into play, the one that's at E1. Yeah. So white can look around for tactics, but there's still some long-term issues here.
Let me switch to Elliot.
Clumsy pieces, yeah.
Oh, and what has happened here?
Looks like white has gotten herself into some trouble here. Down, maybe just overlook the fact that there was a pawn hanging at A2. If we could go back a move.
Oh, let's see.
Yeah, there looks like there was some white's pieces are.
Well, I mean, the knight was hanging there, right? So.
Right, but you could have played knight takes D4. There might have been trouble. Of course, there would have been trouble with that. But
I mean, could you have even done
what's wrong with
C4?
knight takes? Yeah, knight takes d4
or C4? Could you have done C4?
Pawn c4, queen takes c4 check.
Okay.
Yeah. Knight a3 looks like a panicky move, but maybe, I mean, in any case, black has an excellent game here. And white seems to have overlooked something going into this. Very aggressive queenside castling, but black is better developed, and something went wrong here for white.
All right, let's peek in on the finale of Rui's game.
Oh, okay. Coming up is rook takes f8 check, and then rook h8, or just queen g6. Oh, no, can't play queen g6, but queen h5 check, winning another rook over there. Queen h5 check, king d8, rook f8 check, wins on the spot. There's probably a forced that's what she does.
That wins. So looks like Rui's going to take this game.
And she's chosen the most straightforward continuations. I'm suggesting fancy things, and she just finds the simple.
Stick with the basics.
Yeah.
And let's move over to Eric Lee's game real quick.
She didn't break a sweat in this game. She still has time left. She actually gained time on the clock. Amazing. So black's problem here is finding some counterplay while white sort of builds up the position. That's definitely the problem here. Everything looks hunky-dory, but what are you going to do? Meanwhile, white is angling for f4 and e5 at some point. So these positions are sort of not so great for black. And, black hopes that some tactics will keep them alive. Sometimes trying for f5 here. But ultimately, these positions should be good for white. And this one is no exception, I think. Yeah. What about board 4, I guess? Or the next board?
Yeah, let me
I guess this is board 3, or Rui. Rui
was board 4. Actually, let's check in on Austin Mai, who we haven't yet. Let me just pull up his game, and the thing with these is I have to actually find the game. All right, here we go. Let me just switch in Austin Mai, who's he's a Scholastic player who's 2150 around there. He's probably, I think he's 14-ish years old. Extremely strong player. He's playing Kevin Fong, who's an attorney in San Francisco, playing white.
This reminds me of the Chiron game a lot.
In what way?
In that white's just sort of developed his pieces and ineffectively, and black has a nice dynamic position with more potential. And so this opening has definitely gone wrong for white here, who's about to get pushed back with moves like g5 and f5. I mean, g5 right away, knight f3, f5, and white's pieces are just in full retreat. So yeah.
So let me switch over now to Lauren Goodkind, who's Lauren Goodkind's actually going to be a guest on the Mechanics Chess Social this Friday, actually. So Friday at noon, we're going to have Lauren Goodkind on, and she is playing right now as black, and she is playing Kritin Gopalakrishnan. How is it looking there for Lauren, who's black?
Well, looks like white's trying to get in with queen c7. So, these are the positions where the better player will find a way. Black's position's solid right now. But if white can find a way to loosen up the black pawn chain, the bishop will become strong. And so this is not easy for black. So,
So what do you think of this position? I see like bishop versus knight. Like what?
Well, I see that it's an even amount of pawns and nobody has any serious weaknesses. And so somebody's going to have to do something to induce a weakness or to outmaneuver the other player. So there's a lot of things in play there. And it's basically, who can sort of nudge the other player into making a misstep. Right now, white is a little better with more space and more active pieces. The rook on the third rank and so on and so forth. But black is still solid. And so, although queen c7 here, as I was pointing out, and with the queens on the board, even in these kind of positions, you have to watch out. White wants to play queen c7, maybe black wants to play queen c2, or find something. But what's wrong with white playing queen c7 here, hitting the knight and hitting the? I guess black can still survive for a move or two, knight b6, and then rook over to b8. Yeah. So it's just complicated. It's complicated. Nobody's really gotten too far here. And if I'm black, exchanging queens is a good idea, as long as I don't weaken myself too much, and maybe getting that knight to d5. I don't necessarily want to play pawn to e5 if I'm black, which will just increase the range of the white bishop.
And Rui did close the show. She won her game against Ryan Tiang. So, Rui, if you are watching or following, the next round, the earliest it'll start is 8 p.m. So you can relax for a bit or check out the games or come blow us up in Twitch on the chat or whatever you want.
And Michael Walter just pointed out a nice sequence, queen c7, knight b6, rook f3, and suddenly white's the tactics there, the rook tactics on f7. So I think queen f5 looks like a mistake.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, interesting. And we'll see if let's see if Critton works that out and finds that. Let's go to check out board one. Let's see how Kyron's doing over here.
Okay. All right. So white played in on his knight to d6, and black did something, rook d8, and then white took a pawn on e4. Okay.
You want me to play it back, or?
Yeah, but I think that's what it looks like happened. Knight d6. Yeah, let's play it back.
So we went here.
Right, bishop b4, bishop b4.
There it is, knight d6.
Yeah, maybe black. Okay, and then knight d6. Right, and that hits the pawn at e4 and forks the. So black is temporarily down a pawn, and the white knight can come back into the game. So this is kind of well done by white to sort of.
What do you think?
Get out of his difficulties.
So this is a longer time control than we typically do for the Tuesday Night Online. I mean, when we've had the Tuesday Night Online, that's been a G10 +2. This is G35. I mean, does this favor those who prefer longer time controls, or do the stronger players have more of an advantage?
I would say the stronger players should have more of an advantage because they have more time to think and they're less likely to just, hang their face by some accidental oversight. So I think it should definitely favor the stronger player.
Let me, yeah.
Just because you like to think longer doesn't mean that you're thinking more effectively, and that's been
efficiently.
And that's been pretty much proven.
I'm jumping to John McCumsky's game only because the position looks
blocked,
locked up.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything here that would?
Well, if I'm black, I'd have if I'm black, I want to put my king over on the queen side.
Because here it looks like, e6 is a coming unless right? Is that wrong?
Well, let's see. Can black try to win the exchange with knight b3 and if rook d1, bishop c2?
Well, knight b3 was just played.
Yeah. So black might want to get greedy here. Rook d1, bishop c2, and then white can play e6. And this is like one of the things that can make this position interesting. Rook d1, bishop c2, pawn e6. I'd say white's probably got a nice game there. Black should be careful about doing that.
Can you just do e6 now?
You could. And that looks very strong. That looks kind of strong too.
And it's just played.
Yeah. I think white sort of has to do that to maintain the balance here. If black might have tried to be a little sneakier and played pawn to e6 first, and then so there's a can of worms has been opened up now, and maybe black should have thought about that.
Let's check up on Elliot Winslow.
Interesting game.
And this is the position.
Oh, we're in the analysis. Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes. Knight b3 mate is threatened.
Man, yeah. Is there anything that can be done?
Yeah, Lauren is really... Barbara, sorry. Gonna have to go back to the drawing table on this opening. This looks like it's over. I mean, to avoid mate, white might have to play rook. There's rook e1 or something, and then lose the queen. This is just, or play knight c3. There's no hope here.
It does not look favorable. All right, let's peek in on Erica and Tejas. And for those of you who don't know, Tejas, he's a Scholastic player. He does a lot of volunteering for us, so he is the one that a lot of people ask us, hey, who's Chess TX? Sending us messages in the chat. It's Tejas. So he promotes our online events. He sends the messages on chess.com.
My prediction. Sorry.
Yeah, does a lot of admin for us. So and actually,
nice.
Judith and I have known him for several years and know his parents really well.
Have I met him?
You have not, actually. You have not.
Okay.
He's an outstanding young man, and here he is doing battle. So what do you think?
I think what I said came true, which was black snatched the pawn and white prevented black from castling, but this is going very nicely for black here, who has an attack on the king side, an extra pawn, and the two bishops, and can probably think about playing g6 and king g7 at some point. Not yet because of bishop takes g6, but pawn h4 looks like it would have been a good move too.
And
it's going well for black.
For everyone watching, this is the Tuesday night marathon because this will be played over 3 weeks. 2 rounds tonight, 2 rounds next week, and then 2 rounds 2 weeks from now. And we had done a $600 prize pool based on 40 paid entries. I think we're currently at 50 paid entries, so we're actually going to pay out more.
I thought you were going to give me the rest of them.
Right, yeah, and fortunately for the players, that's not how we operate. We don't, if we had, 2,000 entries, we're not going to pay out $600. But
right, of course.
So, it's an amazing turnout. And let me put in the chat again. If you want to see the pairings for the current round, let me pull up the page and put it in the chat, and then you can follow.
What is the total amount of entries so far?
I think it's at 54. Maybe
Nice.
Judith can confirm it. And the thing is we could get more entries that want to start next week, and we just give buys for the first couple rounds. There's a slight disadvantage because they're only getting half points, so it'd be difficult to be competitive for prize money. But let's take a look at Austin Mai, who is black here, against Kevin Fong. And he's pushed F5, looking to start launching himself.
Yeah, so Black's gotten a terrific game here. So far, White has not lost any material, but the two bishops and the kind of pawn structure. I mean, that pawn at G3 is about to be targeted. This is probably a winning position now, or close to it for Black. Winning is maybe going out on a limb, but still, this is very strong position for Black.
And here I've switched to mechanics regular, and I'm gonna call him a fan favorite because I'm a fan of him because he plays all these action games. This is Adam Mercado, A-Boy 415, and I believe he is playing Wen Tao Wu, and. I like watching Adam's game because he's always playing attacking chess, fighting chess. He looks like he's
attacking right here.
He's doing it again, and so clearly.
The question is, how serious is it? I mean,
right.
The threat is Queen H6. Black can defend with the rook or the queen on the third rank,
and just
or maybe play king to H8 or something like that.
Just look like Black's bishop is really cut off over there.
Yeah, that's true. Black does want, if Black can throw in C5 though, for example, and try to disrupt everything, or there's some possibilities for that bishop. Right now, White's sitting pretty, but we'll have to see what happens. I think rook E6 looks like a decent move for Black here.
Let me take a look at Elliot's game because I thought
Although
that game.
Then F4, F5, so maybe King H7, King H8.
So I saw that the game was still going, so I was thinking that Barbara may have found something, but she's down her queen, so I think this game will be over soon.
She is down a queen for a minor piece, and the Black's attack is still going here.
That will
and
be
the
tough.
bishop at A4 is lost. So
that will be a tough one to navigate. All right, let's move on to.
I like your understated tough one to navigate there. As they go down in
I always
flames.
leave hope. Right, I always leave hope. Hope's the last thing to go.
Yeah.
So here we are with Simona Neiberg, who's a Roboro 13, and Rachel Tiong, two top girl players.
This is a nice unbalanced position. This is not easy to evaluate for me, straight off the bat. This is a tough configuration of pieces. White seems to have, this is a committal move here. Knight G5. So Black's taking advantage of the fact that Knight G5 can be met by Rook E1, Queen E1, Queen takes D5. So, in fact, Black finds a nice little move here, trying to take the bull by the horns and win that pawn at D5 right away. And it might be working. Yeah. So Knight G3, any knight move now is going to be followed by Rook takes E1 and Queen takes D5, and then it'll be on White to prove that she has something. But although, let's follow it a little further.
Okay.
Knight G5, Rook E1, Queen E1, Queen D5, Rook D1, threatening the Queen at D5, and now Black has to watch out for Queen E6 check. She could play Queen E5, and then the queens could come off, and I'm not sure what White would do then. One more try here. Knight G3, Rook E1, Queen takes E1, Queen takes D5, Rook D1. Okay, Knight G5 is played. So there's the question here: Rook E1, Queen E1, Queen D5, Rook D1, Queen E5.
So Simona quickly, looks like she got a pawn.
Yeah. Now, if the knight was on G3, Rook D1, I think would come close to regaining the pawn, but maybe not. Then Black would have Queen F7. So
it looks like she may have freed herself up.
And what? Yeah. So Rook D1, Queen E5, and Black is holding. Although Queen takes E5 and then Knight F3, I don't know. It's complicated. White has a temporary initiative.
Let me move on to
even Queen E5 and Rook D7, and the Rook is on the 7th.
So here we are at Kyron Griffith's game here. All
right. So Black ganged up on the C4 pawn and won his pawn back.
Right, because he was down a pawn earlier.
Yeah. So now the thing is Black's forcing play. I remember Patrick Wolf talking about that, playing weaker players and forcing the play. Sometimes it doesn't work because your opponent makes forced moves and then ends up in equalizing somehow. So you have to muddy the waters when you're the stronger player, and
actually that's opposite of what I would have thought.
That takes some risks. Well, it depends on the situation. Both situations work or don't work, and I found myself sometimes trying to force a situation and then just force it into equality, and sometimes making non-forcing moves and sort of messing around, giving my opponent a chance, which they take,
yeah,
and then you suddenly find yourself in a losing position. So knowing how to tread those waters, if you're playing for a win, it's an interesting thing.
So
it doesn't always work the way you think it's going to.
So what are we seeing here? We have Eric Lee, FIDE Master Eric Lee, as White against Alexander Huberts.
And Black is losing a piece here, because if Knight H3 check, King H2. So that was unexpected. I'm not sure what happened here, but
looks like he just got trapped. I mean,
it got trapped.
Yeah. See, we're looking here. This is the position, and then
let's look at this.
Is Rook F7, right?
It looks like Black actually got something good going for himself there, and then just played Rook F7 when maybe Knight F7 and trying to pivot around the E5 square.
Yeah, but
Black a great game.
And here's the thing: Black probably thought, okay, I can play Rook F7 because I have Knight H3.
But not after King H2.
Well, not. I mean, even not. Yeah, and
right.
But now, why didn't Black just go Knight H3 check right here?
King H2.
And then that's it. You're trapped anyway.
That's the difference. The king actually traps the knight.
Yeah. And then that's why
Black actually looked like Black had outplayed White up to that point, and now instead finds himself in probably a lost position. Yeah, certainly after Bishop H3
and it happened just like that.
Yeah, just one dropping a piece by a simple tactic, which Webkins is not going to overlook.
So John McCumsky is doing well here.
Oh yeah, White's gotten everything that he could have wanted. He didn't lose the exchange, and in fact has won a couple of pawns and opened the position up in the center. Looks pretty crushing.
So flipping over to this game with Erica and Tejas. He was up a pawn already. He's still up a pawn, it looks like.
Yeah, with an attack now.
Yeah, now he's going to
and
launch.
Black's gotten the king. White's trying to avoid bishop takes g3. But Black seems to have a strong attack.
And then we'll follow Lauren Goodkind's game. And I know we were following the attack here on f7. And this is where we're at.
Oh, wow. Black's lost a couple of pawns here. More than a couple of pawns. 3 pawns.
Yeah, this is going to be tough.
Queen a6. Can Black find a way to win that bishop on c4? I don't know.
Let's go to board 1. And
yeah, it looks like White's winning after Queen a6. Black's just kind of moving around here.
And FIDE Master Kyron Griffith, who's the tournament overall top seed, is playing Black right here against Satvik Krishnan.
So if I'm White, I want to try to snatch that pawn at a7. Bishop d5, knight d5, queen a7, then I guess rook a8. But what if bishop d5, knight d5, rook takes c8, and then queen a7? See how I'm always trying to snatch pawns? I'm always trying to
take
grab
something.
a pawn.
I was trying to take something.
Yeah.
Let's peek in on someone we haven't yet is Christian Klemenz. And by the way, Elliot Winslow did win his game against Barbara Goodkind.
Elliot's can have a hard time, but being up a whole queen is usually.
So Christian Klemenz is 1997 rated, playing Adeline Yang, who's 1695. And actually, I don't know much about Adeline, but with her rating, she has to be a top player. I'm assuming it's a Scholastic player. She has to be one of the top girl Scholastic players, probably for her age group, but I don't know exactly how old she is.
Yeah.
So how does this look? Playing a tough player in Christian Klemenz, someone who's won the Tuesday Night Online, and
this is
pretty solid.
Yeah.
And by the way, Eric Lee did win that game.
Okay.
Not surprising because he was up a piece.
Right. Yeah, Black blundered a piece in a good game. That was too bad. Knight c6. It looks like White. White's kind of a lot of pressure. That past g6. That pawn. What's preventing White from playing pawn g6 here? Bishop d6. If bishop d6, rook d6. If the bishop moves, then pawn g7. So am I overlooking something here? Pawn g6. Do you see anything, Abel?
No, and actually, I think I changed.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to change it that fast, but I was flipping to Akko Hidari, who we had not checked in yet, and I didn't mean to hit it, but I did. So since I did, let's take a look at that. So
complicated game. I like White here being able to play knight e5 at some point.
Akko Hidari against Robert Berry, who is Black.
All right, but Black has some dynamic possibilities here. I mean, but I want to play knight to e5 if I'm white here, and then slowly prepare to play pawn e4 or start, eyeing the pawn at c6. Black has weaknesses. This is tough for black. Black's going to have to rely on tactics to sort of get him out of a tough position.
Out of that hot water.
It's not over, but
Let's go back to Kyron's game.
Okay, and white took the pawn at a7 without taking on c8. All right, so you got to hand it to Satvik. Every time there's been a pawn to be taken, he's taken it.
He's ready to grab.
That's the way to play against strong players. And Kyron's looking for some tactics here a more white's playing, adventurously here.
And just for the chess community,
Bishop e4, Queen b6, Bishop d3, and black's not getting much there.
I'll send an invite for next week to players in the under 1600, or maybe during the intermission I'll send a friend request so I can more easily jump to their games because we love our under 1600s as much as we love our over 1600s at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club.
I'm seeing a problem for black here too. Bishop e4, Queen b6, Queen h3 is met by knight f4. Black is probably trying to find some way to make something work tactically here. Bishop e4, Queen b6. Black's not going to be content just to regain the pawn. Bishop d3 and Queen takes d3, and then that's just nothing for black at all. In fact, the pawn's hanging at b7, so. No, black's looking at moves like Bishop d4 here, or something to try to, Bishop d4 might be a move.
So here we have an endgame that maybe you can use
tough position.
Use as part of your class. Here we go.
Endgame. What do I know about the endgame?
Well, hopefully a little bit because we're going to put you on the spot starting next Monday. So this is the game between Rachel Tiong as white against Simona Neiberg as black. Black's got the two bishops and up a pawn. And is the result a foregone conclusion, or is there still?
It looks like white's played well here to I guess, because after knight f7 check, black has to take it.
And black is currently up a pawn.
Yeah, white's even playing for a win here for some reason. I'm not sure that I would have done that.
You think black is far better?
Well, no, I don't think black is far better, but knight f7 check would have meant bishops of opposite colors, and then surely white can just come in behind the black pawns on the queen side, and the game should probably peter out to a draw.
I mean,
but now black can play g6, and if knight f7 check, king g7. So this muddies up the waters, this king f1 move, and I think.
All right,
this is now. The endgame is difficult to play.
So here we have Action Adam Mercado throwing the kitchen sink.
Oh yeah, so white found a way in here, and it's not the kitchen sink. Yeah, look at this bishop e1, rook e1 move.
I think it was that.
Okay, so if bishop e1, queen g1 mate, that was a cute little try.
Yeah.
But I guess this is forced.
And
now white just wins with queen f5 check, and then it's going to take that rook at c8 with check. It looks like.
And Tejas Mahesh.
Yeah, that's it. That wins. And as a mate with queen g6 and rook h8 as well.
Yeah, Tejas Mahesh finished off Erica.
A boy 415 has a forced mate here. Yes, forced mate, queen g6 check. That's it. If king g8, rook e8 check is mate, next move. And if king f8, rook h8 is made. So that's all. White found a way in there somehow. Not sure how, but all right.
Hold on. Let me bring this back up. There we go. Game's back up, and it looks like Adam Mercado finished off his game. Let me just jump back to.
Did Kyron win?
No.
On board one?
It's still going.
That game's still going, yeah. That was an interesting game.
And well, here we go. We got it right back up here.
Oh, so bishop e4, queen b6, queen h3. But what happens after knight f4? Am I missing something here?
Knight f4.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go knight f4.
I guess black's going to play queen back to d7. What is Kyron doing here? I'm not sure.
And we're starting to get to that time where time is starting to become an issue for some players.
And knight f4, rook c1, rook c1. Am I missing? I don't see what I'm missing here. I mean, knight f4 looks just perfectly playable here. And Kyron has been forcing things, but does black have anything after knight f4, rook c1, and queen c8? No. Knight f4, rook c1 is impossible anyway because of queen d8 check. So
let's jump.
Yeah, something has gone strange here.
And we think that only because the knight f4 move just causes kind of a retreat, right?
Yeah, queen g7. The queen has to go back to d7. So I mean, maybe Kyron just couldn't find anything better, and is seeing what White's going to do. I mean, it looks to me like White kind of had that position kind of nailed down. Maybe he's hoping for pawn f3 here. And giving White the choice to make a mistake. Yeah.
Let me jump to, let's check up on Austin Mai here, who's black, against Kevin Fong. Austin is up a pawn, but it looks like he's got pretty strong pieces.
Yeah, this has been looking good for black ever from the beginning, it's still looking good for black with the centralized pieces and the two bishops. And White just has to try to hold on and not fall victim to an attack on g3 or something like that. I mean, it's black's game here. Queen b6 is strong, even that exchanging queens a pawn ahead in this kind of position. That would be strong. It looks like the right move anyway because of queen c5, knight d3. So
let's check in on Simona's game just because that was sort of an interesting endgame. So Simona Neighborg is black. I mean, yeah, she is black. She's up a pawn, playing Rachel Tiong.
Yeah, I think White's sort of trying to do the wrong thing in a way here.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, she had bishops of opposite colors, and now, like, for example, I think White's trying to find a way to win this endgame here, and even though she's a pawn down,
because it looked like she could have forced the
knight f7 check would have been an easy draw,
right? And that is this position here, right, where knight f7 check
instead of king f1.
Yeah.
So anyway, so go back to this, back to our game, back to the game. Like if black plays bishop e6, knight e6, king g8, white's saying, I'm not going to lose that position. And even though I'm a pawn down, I'm trading pieces and the wrong piece, but we could look a little further. I mean, knight d4. Actually, the knight could go back to c7, attacking the b5 pawn. And this is what we're talking about here, that actually black has to play a6, and then knight takes a6. So white's actually regaining the pawn with an advantageous position. So it's possible white's looking further ahead than black here. But bishop c6, okay. I mean, there is such a thing as playing for the loss sometimes. And
we've seen that play out.
It's dangerous to play for a win in an endgame when you're a pawn down. You have to be exactly sure what you're doing. And
let's bring it back to our board 1 here.
Okay.
Oops. And he has maintained a pawn advantage against Chiron.
Yeah. So black's looking to play g5 here and then come back in into h2. It's still a dangerous position for white in some respects, with the bishops raking the board like that.
Well, if black plays g5, then kind of the threat of queen h3, right?
Yeah, I mean, but rook d8 is check, of course.
Yeah.
You have to be careful about
hanging stuff there.
Yeah, so maybe rook takes d1, check, rook takes d1, and then pawn to g5. So, even if you play g5, it's not made on the board. I mean, white can go back to d3, and then if queen h3, pawn f3. So there's going to be ways for white, or even knight to e1. So there's ways that white can, try to hold these positions as long as. But there's these bishops are dangerous here. Bishop d4 is always going to be a threat.
Speaking of dangerous bishops, here we have Austin Mai, who's has now.
Yeah, there it comes on g3 as I predicted about 20 moves ago.
Significant danger here.
Yeah,
and it seems like that bishop on g2 for white really.
The whole structure was just weak, and white apparently has not pulled it together. In fact, isn't white a bishop down here?
Yes.
Oh no, white's a bishop down. So
and
something happened here.
And Austin has won that game.
Yeah.
Good game.
Chess Appeals was outplayed from the beginning. That opening was terrible for white
And here we go.
Okay, so look at this.
John McCumsky has the bishop against the knight. He's got an extra pawn. But that's a pretty strong knight, it looks like. But the only
thing is, but black is suffering here. Bishop f7 check is going to pick up the pawn at c4.
The pawns are on the wrong color for black.
Well, sometimes it's good when they're on the same color as the bishop, because then they block the bishop's movements.
But just
and
not
sometimes
here.
It's bad because they can be all taken by the bishop. So chess is such a situational game here. And black is hoping for a miracle, obviously. I mean, about to go 2 pawns down and bishop h5. I don't even see how black can find a way into that a3 pawn. There's no way. So it's just lost.
So we're going to see if Lauren Goodkind can find a miracle here, because she is down 3 pawns. And she's trying to see if she can find a way here, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite look like it.
Very tough. I mean, you have to try to break open the white king by playing pawn g4 or something like that. But, if I'm white, I'm pretty happy here. Look at this. This is even a tactic here. If rook e8, queen takes e8 check.
And
now white's target. This is a good way to play. to try to be as aggressive as possible.
And for players, another way we've made this look like a regular over-the-board tournament is we need the results reported so that we can appropriately pair for the next round. So in the original welcome email, we sent a link where you can report results. But I think Judith is recording results as she sees them also. This is USCF online rated. So Felix is in the chat asking, it's USCF online rated, but it's not over the board standard rated. So it does affect your online rating, but not your standard over the board rating.
Black's losing here. We can maybe find another game.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
Let's check out this. Keep following Simona Neiberg. I think she's doing well now. She managed to pick up another pawn. And
White. Yeah, I mean this is
yeah. Now
this is
technique.
This is the consequence of not thinking of misplaying the end game here. Black is clearly winning this.
Let's check this game.
It's still going to require some technique, but
this is Akko Hedari. This is a pretty interesting game with these bishops. Pretty active bishops on both sides.
yeah, this has been a complicated game from the beginning. But isn't White down the exchange here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is Black found a way to win the exchange here. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like earlier White was doing well, and some tactics have come into play. And not only that, but White is down on time severely. And so this has gone well for Borowski, who's we don't know how strong Borowski is, right?
Because his USCF rating is 1671, but Akko Hedari is almost 2000. We know he's a strong player, but we don't know much about him.
Well, this is Akko is about to resign here.
Yeah,
a new queen is coming on the board. This is
now you're just sack into sack here. So let me go back to Kyron Griffith.
I like that sacking to sack.
Sacking to sack. I've done that. Like if my game is lost, I'm just throwing it there just to make a splash on my way out.
Right.
On my way out the door. So here we go. Top seed Kyron Griffith down a pawn. It looks like he's down on time.
Still.
This will be an interesting game because both
White has played a great defensive game, and in a way a sort of counterpunching kind of game here. And what's wrong with knight d3 and
played.
Sure. Knight d3 hits the bishop on e5, and then White can even think about playing bishop f8.
And actually, this will be a fun game to follow because what we've often seen is when the time pressure it gets to under a minute, that's when the skill comes out of Kyron versus anyone that's lower than him. And we'll see if that plays out in this.
And Black has pressure here.
Because Black has opportunities and some pressure, and Sotpik is going to have to play really well under extraordinary time pressure to maintain this. And Akko Hedari did lose his game.
Yeah. All right, so now what's with this? Bishop b2. It's like White's playing some kind of model game here. This is it. I mean, this is a hugely advantageous trade for White now. I mean, it's got a long way to go to win it, but if I'm White, I'm starting to feel more and more confident here that I'm consolidating, and this bishop a3 back to a3 and then to b2. I mean, White's playing with a plan as well here. This is no longer easy street for black. This is now white's game.
And Lauren Goodkind did lose her game. So
Queen B3 is strong here, maybe.
And this is going to be difficult.
Said, the time pressure is a factor here. And clearly, white is better here.
Now, is there anything that
white trades there? Not so sure that might have been a bad judgment call. This is now with all of these pawns on the same side.
Now, Chiron's going to be playing for opportunities now because
but what can white do to lose this?
Well, I mean, it can happen.
It can happen. That's true. It's true. I think black was given a bit of a reprieve there by knight takes, by trading the bishops there.
I mean, isn't black?
I could be wrong. I mean, Queen G5 is coming here. What happens on Queen G5? I guess Queen C2 check, King H3. That looks.
I mean, Chiron is looking to win this. John McCunsky won his game.
There's no way that. I guess there is a way that black can win.
I'm just not
sure how black is supposed to win here.
I think he's looking to do it. I think he's trying to manipulate the time.
Yeah, you're right.
It just happened, right? So he took a pawn, and now he's got that passed pawn way down there.
Unbelievably, yeah. Yep. Now black is winning. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, there's no way he was not playing to win this game. And now it's won. That's it, right? It's over now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the experienced play, the voice of experience, the experienced player that is aware of these little tactical possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that he was not looking to. So it looks like Simona Neighbor also
White is going to be kicking themselves after that game. Up a pawn, and to lose that pawn at A2, that should have been the foremost thing in White's mind, not to lose that pawn on A2. Yeah. And all you had to do is keep the queen on the second rank. There was no way black was going to win it.
And then that's life, as Judy would say, right?
Well, yeah, it's
so
not good.
I wonder how many games are still going. I have to check in with Chief Tournament Director Judith Starry.
I'm going to take a quick break, or shall we take a quick break after the round?
Take a break, leave the camera on.
Okay, I will do.
I'll stay here and just yak about what's coming.
Yeah.
So go for it.
Okay, I'll be right back, folks.
So everyone watching round one, I think it's close to over. All the games over. Round two pairings will be posted online as soon as we have all the results and Judith pairs the round. You can go to that website that I've just put on right there. We will have the standings and the pairings for round two shortly. The games are estimated to start at 8 o'clock, but we do have to make the pairings the same as if we were doing over the board. We enter the results into our tournament software. The pairings come out, and then we'll post them, and Judith will set up the games and the pairings. So Judith's telling me all games are finished. Round one is in the books. So give us a few minutes. She says 5 minutes. And so it looks like we will start on 8 p.m. On time. And so just visit that website that I put up on there, the same one that you've looked at today where the pairings were. We'll have the standings there and the pairings for round two. And Daniel Perlov is asking, I think, why is Reika not playing? Judith's daughter Reika. And I'm going to assume the answer is probably because it's 3 or 4 in the morning where they're at right now in Hungary. So I doubt she's going to be wanting to play top-level tournament chess at 3 or 4 in the morning. So everyone that's tuning in, thank you for tuning in. We are not done with chess. Round 2 of the Tuesday night marathon will start at around 8 p.m. We're inputting the results. So Christian Klemenz, playing at 4 a.m. builds character. I could not agree with you more. You know, you got to make those sacrifices if you really want it, right? So, you know, this is the Tuesday night marathon. It's kind of exciting that we were able to pull this off. Like I said, you know, we're using the platform of chess.com, but we're manually pairing everything. So Judith is setting up all the pairings on chess.com. We have smashed the estimated number of entries. We based the prize pool on 40. I think we have 54, and I think it'll grow because I think we'll have more entries for next week with half-point buys. And we just want to thank all the players for coming out and participating in this event. And because, you know, it's great. It's fun for us to be able to provide a tournament like this. It's a little different, you know, 2 rounds a week for 3 weeks. The time control is a little longer. But like I said, you know, it's nice to offer a prize pool. We're going to offer more than what we said because we have more entries. But everything also helps us. It supports the Mechanics Institute and the Chess Club and what we're doing. And we want to thank you players for, you know, choosing to play with us because, you know, we love having you be part of the club. You know, it fills us up to kind of see everyone come out and participate and play. And, you know, you being a part of this helps support the Mechanics Institute and the Chess Club and everything we're doing. So thank everyone for being a part of this. And we are looking forward to the time when we can offer a live over-the-board play. Definitely looking forward to that. And when that becomes available with all the, you know, precautions we have to do in place, Judith and I and Paul and Nick and everyone, we're ready to do that. Until that time, it's awesome that we're able to do events like this for the chess community. So Judith says the standings are posted, so you can check the standings now. She is working on the pairings. Go to that site right there. Please double check your results, players, if you're watching the Twitch broadcast. Make sure there are no errors because we're doing the pairings now. So now would be the time for Kyron, for example. If you see a 0 on your name, let us know something's wrong so that you stay on board 1 paired. So double check your results, and the pairings will be posted soon. And remember, round 2 will be starting shortly at 8 p.m. And then it will not start before, so now's a good time to go get that coffee or get that strong drink or whatever you need to fuel yourself, a snack, and get ready for round 2 at 8 p.m. And shameless plug while we're doing it. So if you have a child interested in a chess camp, or if you are someone that is looking for a stronger chess camp, next week we had not planned. It was going to be a week off of our Scholastic chess camps. We've had chess camps almost every week. A lot of fun with our fantastic coaches, Andrew Schley, Colin Schober, Paul Whitehead. He's been doing some of our Scholastic camps. But next week, we're going to be offering a master camp. And by master, we mean FIDE master Paul Whitehead is coaching the camp. And so if there's any Scholastic players, that are, over 800 rated, or, even if we have an adult that's kind of, 1,200, 13 looking to improve, we're offering a camp next week, taught by Paul Whitehead in the morning. It'll be 10 a.m. to 12. So we will have that. And the other new thing we're offering is an Endgame Lab Class. So Paul will start a 6-week class starting next Monday, 6:30 to 8. exclusively on Endgames. And if you go to the website, actually, let me look it up because I can look that up.
I'm just going to tell you all that it's going to be.
Talk about it.
I'm still kind of formulating it in my mind, but I mean, it's going to be, it's going to be a class that'll sort of just.
You're iterating it.
We're going to cover the basics and show you what you need to sort of master or have mastered, and to so that you have an idea when you're in an end game,
and it's 6 weeks, so you're covering king and pawn 1 week, you got rook endings, minor piece endings. And you said one of the things that's in your syllabus is material imbalances. Tell us a little bit about what that means.
Well, mostly that'll probably be the exchange, like when players have the exchange in an end game. And often I'm asked, how do you sort of win a position when you're up a rook for a bishop in everything else being equal, in some kind of end game. So we'll take a look at just various material imbalances and what the stronger player needs to try to do to win, or the weaker player has to do to draw, because those are always the questions when we're looking at games. What does one player try to do to maintain the advantage, and what is the other player trying to do to draw or hold off the other player?
And I've seen a lot of. I'm an 1800 player. I'm at my floor, and I can tell you that for me personally, one of the struggles has always been end games, and it's terrible to say, right? I mean, I've been over 2000 before. 1800 is my floor, but like there'd be some times when like I'm looking to avoid end games. Just because I really don't know, like I'm not going for the kill in an end game because I actually don't know exactly what I need to do. And this might even be when I'm in a superior position, right? And I just don't know it. And I think a lot of players that, and actually F-Pawn is in the chat saying that he's close to publishing my 60 memorable endgame swindles.
Well, the end game is really the place that's going to separate the stronger player from the weaker player. And most of it is because there's a stronger grasp of the principles of chess, how the pieces operate sort of on an open board. And also, it asks those kind of questions that chess players are not used to asking themselves, like, what should I be doing here? And, what are my goals in this position? And those are not, I think, questions that chess players are used to answering. They're more blinded by all these pieces, and then suddenly somehow they get the pieces are exchanged, and then what? They're not sure where they should be going. So you want to master, you want to know where you're going in the end game. So, and there's a lot to it, but it'll make you a stronger opening player and a stronger middle game player to be a stronger end game player.
And I've shared this with Paul that one of my goals. I'm really busy right now with all the club activity, but one of these days when I have a little bit more time, I would love to kind of devote the time to try to get to 2200. For me, the number one goal is if my goal is master, I want to play at master level, not necessarily need to get 2200. I want to be able to play at that level, with or without the title. I want to get to that level. So Paul has offered to help me get over that hump. So maybe one of these days we could talk end games.
Sure, and I think it's a lot of it is asking the right questions. I think chess players, they're bewildered. There's so much, and you kind of have to narrow things down and start being more systematic about your studies, and that's basically
And speaking of which,
what I always emphasize.
You teach a regular class on Wednesdays where, I mean, it's all club level, strength level players, like around
Right.
1,500, and you're, the way you go about that class, and I'm putting it here for anyone that's interested, is you actually invite the students to send you games, and then you go over those games, and your sort of point of emphasis in how you teach is teaching you how to think in those games, like what you should be thinking about and what you should be looking for. And I've helped moderate that class and be in that class, and it's just an excellent way to go about teaching when you're using actual real games and you're having a dialogue with the student about it, and then getting input from the other students. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody can get, you'll always get the most out of looking at your own games and questioning your thinking. What were you thinking, And often I hear, I wasn't thinking, but I mean, you're supposed to be thinking. And then trying to sort of question those, those thoughts, those things like, and basically I'm just sort of opening up my own mind for you to look at and saying, like, if this is the way a chess master approaches positions, that they ask these kinds of questions and they look at these kinds of things. And a lot of it is structures and experience and so on and so forth.
And players,
so come and join us at
Wednesday class, and I put the link in the chat. But for right now, the pairings are up. And hello
Excellent.
to John McCumsky, who says greetings in the chat. The pairings are up. I put in the link. Go check it out now. Judith says 5 minutes. We'll start the round. And we have some fantastic pairings. Board
Good.
1 is going to be Kyron Griffith against Rudolph Breet, who's 1884 rated. And he's done quite well in our online tournaments. Board 2.
Kyron escaped by the skin of his teeth.
And board 2, white will be Simona Neiberg against Eric Lee, FIDE Master.
Okay.
So that'll be a great game. Board 3, Elliot Winslow against Action Adam Mercado. Board 4 is a fantastic game of top scholastic players. Javier Silva against Rui Yan. And then board 6, Austin Mai against Ryan Wang. So we have the kids fighting it out. I'm just going to scroll down. Imran Chomsky, who's a very strong kid player. He's rated 1663, but definitely on the rise. He's playing Christian Klemenz. We have another game that's kind of fascinating. Is we have Lauren Goodkind against Erica Malikan. So that'll be a
scrap.
A matchup of veterans, and it'll be a fight. And
I'm gonna be the chess cop. I'm gonna be Kojak here for a minute.
You're gonna go the Kojak route?
Yeah, with the lollipop.
There you go. There we go. Wow, this is excellent game. So we're gonna have a lot of action in this round. And then players, if you are currently idle, get yourself online, because I see a couple of players. You need to get play live chess and ready. So make sure you get yourselves ready.
Yeah, orange, an orange one. It might be red. I'm not sure.
And in the chat, so John McCumsky, he is from Sacramento, tournament director from there, Sacramento Chess Club. Judith and I know we've worked with him a long time. Fantastic. If we need a tournament director at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club and Judith and I need help or we're not available, John McCumsky is the number one person we go to. And he loves the orange. He thinks that's an orange lollipop because John McCumsky is frequently wearing orange.
Oh yeah, orange is one of my favorite colors too, although I don't wear it.
It's one of Judith's
I have an
favorite
orange
colors.
Mug. Yeah.
One of Judith's favorite colors because she's Pacific Tiger orange. So Judith's working hard right now to get the round paired. As soon as the games start going, I'll pull those games up. This is round 2 of the Tuesday night marathon. As I'm Xing out of games.
6-rounder.
the six round war, G35 plus 2. Second round starts in a few minutes, and then round 3 and 4 will be next Tuesday.
And John, we're seeing your game that you won.
Yeah,
up
fantastic.
2 queens.
There
must
it
have
is.
been very difficult.
I promised him when I got his registration. I said, "Hey, I'll be sure to cover your game." But fortunately, he had a good game to cover. Judith is saying we will start in 1 minute. So players, get yourself online, get ready. Rui, if you're watching, get yourself online. Simona's online now. All right.
This is great. I just feel like I'm in the club. I was in the club today.
No, briefly. Yeah, you were in there for real today. And throughout this whole process, it feels like this event in particular had like a lot of the feel of a regular club event, just because we were dealing with advanced pairings, going online to check your registration. The pairings are going to be done by us and by USCF tournament standards, not chess.com. And there was a lot of excitement. I even texted Judith. I mean, I really feel there's a lot of buzz and excitement, even from the players. I think they were looking forward to doing it in this way and it feeling different. And, it's almost like we have a lot more control than a chess.com tournament where, you got to go by their ratings, it's their pairings. We're more involved as tournament directors and organizers. So, it was really cool, and the great thing about this is we got a bigger turnout this week than we did the free Tuesday night online just last week. So something.
Get ready, folks, and remember, who loves you, baby? That's what Kojak always used to say.
All right, players, get ready to go because the rounds are about to start. Very soon.
And we're here cheering you on from the sidelines.
Yeah, we're cheering you on or making fun of you, but either way, it's you're all part of the family. So, and this is what it feels like. This is one of the fun things about even covering an event like this. It's like we have so many of the players that are our regulars that we chat with all the time. Players that we see and know. It was just a lot of fun. I was really looking forward to today just because I saw the entries. I saw who was playing. And it was exciting. It was exciting for Judith. I know you were excited too. It's just, it's nice to see kind of the Bay Area regulars, F-Pon's in the chat, John McCumsky's playing, all Mechanics Club regulars, a lot of players we see from the Bay Area. It's just a lot of fun. And I said it again, thank you from all of us for choosing to play at the Mechanics. And we're going to be here for you. And when the lockdown's over, we're still going to be here for you. So.
In fact, they're going at it in the chat here. Park your car.
Yeah, Judith and I have our spot that we park, but it does cost. I'm not going to lie. All right, we got some games going, so let me start pulling up the games here. Wow, and right away, look at this game. I'm not even going to pull up the other games quite yet, because look at this. Kyron Griffith is white against Rudolph Breet.
Yeah, let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah,
let's see what happened here.
What on earth? All right, here we go.
All right.
Okay.
4 knights.
There we go.
Okay, see, I'm not sure. I don't know this. All right, let's stop for a second here. Queen G4 is a challenging move for black to face.
Yeah, and that's what happened. And then took there.
All right, then what happened? Knight C3.
Wow.
Queen G7.
And Kyron has to know this already because they're playing quick. And this is where we're at right now.
White's thinking. All right, A3. Interesting move. Played very quickly. So white wants to regain a piece here. I'm not sure of this opening. I'm not an encyclopedia of chess openings, and sometimes these double king pawn games can get crazy sharp right in the opening.
Yeah, I'm just pulling up a bunch of games as we go. Just want to get these up, and then
white's playing some trappy little move here with 95. That doesn't look quite correct, but who knows? Yeah, that I'm not sure. Again, like I said, my openings are not 100%, but 95 looks a little bit trappy. Now black plays solidly with e6.
And here we have, thank goodness Rui got in there, because she was idle for a while. I was worried she wasn't going to get paired, but playing Javier Silva, who's white, and Rui Yang Yan as black.
I just want to say to Eriquito 23, often the FM doesn't know it, and if you're playing the FM, take it to them, give them the FM your best shot. I've seen Kyron get busted out of the opening, like against Winslow and stuff like that. He's playing fast, and you think that he knows what he's doing, but we're all bluffing too, So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is it like a bluff, right? It's like you have to maintain that, okay, it looks like I'm winning, but am I falling into something?
Yeah.
How about this? Let me go to Austin Mai's game here. What is this opening?
Oh, this is Roy's game? Okay. Oh, here's another great Evans Gambit.
Evans Gambit. This is Austin Mai as white against, I believe it's Ryan Wang.
Well, theoretically, black's supposed to be okay here. I think this is the Lasker defense, right? Bishop A5.
This is our board 5 game.
Or maybe not.
I remember a game a while back where who was the player? It was against Fabiano Caruana, played the Evans Gambit, and it looked like Fabiano hadn't brushed up on the Evans Gambit in a while, and
got a lost game, I think.
Yeah, and he got a draw, but he was definitely losing.
Right.
Against an international master.
Right.
But yeah, so gotta know your stuff. When you flip,
especially if you're opening double king pawn.
And this
There's
is
all kinds of crazy things white can try to get.
And this is Simona Neiberg against Eric FIDE Master Eric Lee.
All right, so that was the 95 sort of thing. All right, well, white doesn't want to play bishop c6, so that will give black the better game here.
White did it.
Well, otherwise the pawn on d4 was lost, but.
And
this can be slow torture here. If black plays queen c6, maybe white should play pawn to d5 and sack a pawn, because it can be hard to deal with these isolated queen pawns, and black's going for a sort of a technical position here.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Judith, who paired the round smoothly, updated the pairings, updated the standings on the website. Fantastic work. We expect nothing different. Anyone who's ever had an experience with her at a tournament. So
yeah,
and she's doing this at like 4 a.m, 5 a.m,
and monitoring the chat as well,
and monitoring and banning people and keeping us in check, and so
yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, so thank you, Judith, for everything you do. All right, let me go to Elliot Winslow against Adam Mercado. Elliot is white in this position.
Okay, so this is a standard Sveshnikov Sicilian, where white plays knight to d5 and black takes, and we've got this kind of white has also played pawn a4. This is a positional approach that white sometimes takes against the Sveshnikov.
Let's jump into that wild game we were looking at.
Or maybe it was an odd or from.
It's a Sicilian Lasker Pelican variation.
Pelican, yeah.
With the Pelikan,
K-A-N, yeah.
Pelican. Well, here we go. This is Kyron against Rudolf Breet.
Okay, so white's it's calmed down a lot, and white's won a pawn, and that's, I guess, knight. Yeah, if knight b4, b5. I'm trying to think. Yeah, white's gonna be okay here, but maybe black is okay too. Black has to find something to do with this extra move here.
White will be up a pawn when it's all said and done.
That's why it's up for black to find something fast here.
Now, did something just happen here? Because it looks like you just hung a piece. No?
Knight b5, bishop a5, knight d. No.
But bishop b4.
Black was going to lose a pawn anyway.
But what about bishop b4?
Well, I'm not sure if we're at the same position.
Oh,
bishop b4 check.
yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, then king moves, and if bishop f8, knight c2 check, I mean, it's very complicated. All right.
I mean, you're losing because now you just castle.
Yeah, castles does it.
Yeah, this game's over. I mean, everything's hanging.
Exchange down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, black got fancy, but he probably was lost out of the opening.
Let's peek in on Rui and Javier.
Karen's going to a smooth win here.
Yeah, and actually that's good for him considering the fight he had to endure in the first round.
And so this looks like, if white plays bishop c6, which probably he shouldn't, it's going to look like the other game, the Wepkins game. The same thing, the isolated pawn at d4 and the black knight on b6 ready to go to d5.
And we have a strong representation from Sacramento in this tournament, so thank you all. I don't know if you're all in cahoots or if you all organize, but if John McCumsky, Javier Silva, Stuart Katz is playing. I think he took a bye in this round, but he's playing. So we have a lot of Sacramento folks joining, so thank you for playing at Mechanics without the parking.
Bishop c6, yeah. White plays that just with too much alacrity or whatever the word is. That's like the last kind of move I want to play here. Usually, I want to keep that white squared bishop. Is white going to play pawn d5 because nothing else is going to justify this exchange.
Sorry, I just I flipped to Barbara Goodkind, who's black. And who's her opponent? Barbara is playing Ishan Kodarapu, who's a 1600 player.
And white's playing
aggressive.
Yeah, an aggressive game. But black has no weaknesses, so it's far from decided here. Black can play pawn e5 into the center or something like that,
And just on the broadcast in the under 1600 section, Daniel Perlov, Ramachita, who's a student of yours in your Wednesday class.
Oh yeah.
Charlene Kwok and Michael Su and Jonathan Baturdene. They were the winners of round one. Leon.
Okay. How many players are in that section?
3, 6. It looks like we got 12. And Kyron Griffith won his game.
That was
congratulations.
He was up the exchange in a pawn.
Congratulations to him.
Gets a quick a chance to grab dinner, even maybe.
Yeah, or like Barbara eat dinner.
Right.
I love her screen name. It's like fantastic. Let's check in on. Let's look at Tejas Mahesh, who is white here. Tejas is playing. Who's he playing? Roger Shee.
This almost looks like a book position coming out of one of those King's Indians where white plays knight g5 and knight e6. This, everything hangs on, white might lose the pawn on e6, but develops tremendous pressure on the long diagonal. Also, knight d5 right now looks strong.
Let's check in real quick on
tough game.
Simona Neiberg and Eric Lee.
Knight d5 is coming, yeah. All right, so, white's doing what white needs to do here, which is try to create some trouble and maybe hopefully play pawn d5 before the positional hammer comes down, with black controlling, exchanging some pieces and playing knight d5 and ganging up on the d4 pawn.
Is sort of Eric's overall strategy, is he's seeing the d4 pawn and thinking, how am I gonna...
Yeah, I want to simplify here. My king's still trapped in the middle. I want to simplify, and I want to double rooks on the d pawn and win it or something. Again, white needs to play d5 here, I think, to try to, although it probably is not, it may work, it may not, but.
And we have a high level technical chat going on between Judith and John McCumsky on how to figure
cool.
the Swisses and the pairings and how do we do it better, and which is great.
All multitasking here.
Yeah. Let's jump to Elliot and Adam Mercado, because it looks like there's some action here, but it looks like the action has gone against Adam Mercado here. Looks like he is...
White's picked up the exchange here, and black has nebulous compensation. Let's put it that way.
Nebulous. Nebulous compensation. All right.
New chess
nice.
turn.
Yeah. Let's check Rui. Rui and Javier. This, these are some... Javier Silva is on the rise. He's a student of F-Pawn.
Right.
Getting just stronger and stronger and stronger, and it'll be fun to follow. This
structure is a good one to remember here. If the white has a white squared bishop, he's got a lot of chances. Without the white squared bishop, this position starts to look better and better for black. And with the blockaded d pawn and the better bishop as well, and so it's still a long way to go, and these things can but black is better here.
And is one of the things with the longer time control, the positions will take a while to play out. Actually,
Right.
there's one game I'm curious about. Let me find it here.
By the way, if the Kojak impersonation is maybe not chess appropriate or something, people can let me know. So far, I haven't heard anything bad about it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any where it's un.
We're gonna have to take you down to the station.
Let's see how many people are watching this that know who Kojak even is.
Right, yeah, that's true, Kojak. I'll tell you what it is. It's one of the worst shows from the 70s. I tried to watch it again after not having watched it since I was like 13.
That's actually
and it's so
one.
Bad.
Obviously, I watched a lot of shows from that area. That was one I just never got into. It was, it wasn't something. I was watching like the Rockford Files and.
Oh yeah. Another really bad one is Canon.
Cannon, yeah, I remember that. Here we got Lauren Goodkind as white against Erica Malikin.
Okay.
We got
I like that black bishop at f5 preventing rook b1. If white could play. Erica's playing a tough. This is a tough little position here.
And she's gonna have her own attack coming on the king side.
Yeah, but black has to watch out for knight e5 and queenside blitz there. Yeah. Yeah, love you, babe. John, is John playing and chatting at the same time?
I think he got a bye. He took a bye for the second round.
Look at that. Telly Savalas, Michael Walder's saying Telly Savalas like to give his chess at the Memorial Day Classic.
Is that right?
Wow.
Huh.
How about that?
Fantastic.
Is that down in Los Angeles, probably? Yeah. Amazing.
All right, let me jump to there's not
White, I'm thinking about 95 here coming up.
Checking on Austin Mai against Ryan Wang. Now Austin is like a 2150. Ryan Wang and I think Ryan Wang's like a 1725 player, but how is this looking? Because Ryan is up
a piece.
He's up a piece. But
I just have to say before that, I just learned something about my brother, Jay, from Michael Walder, who's saying that he went to dinner with Telly Savalas at the Sheraton.
Is that, you remember that?
Michael Walder, wow, what a great story. I'm going to have to ask you more about that. Well, Black's got issues here. Knight f6, queen e5 check looks like it's crushing with the king caught in the middle. Black can probably maybe play f5. There we go. Take advantage of the fact that white can't play pawn f3 here.
But now is everything pretty neutralized now though? Like, how do you continue? I guess you can go bishop b5, bishop b5 for black.
Yeah, and we've got the chat saying king h1 and threatening pawn f3.
Yeah.
So maybe black will try to dodge away with king f7, but it's tough. And white, if white can get that e5 pawn in and get some kind of blitzy attack going here.
Let me peek on this game too.
Rook b1 looks like a good move.
We got some Action Jackson going on here. This is kind of where it developed.
Oh.
And this is
white breaks through with g6.
Yeah, Barbara Goodkind is black against Ishan Kodarapu.
Well, white's trying to break up the position over there. Just complicated, quite complicated, that's for sure. White's hardly taken any time. It's interesting, the time situation, watching the times as well.
So moving on to Christian Klemenz. He is playing, looking here, he's playing Imran Chomsky, who's a strong scholastic player who's actually been on the rise pretty well. I actually know him. I knew him from a summer camp a few years ago that he was a part of, and I remember playing him before the camp day started, and he was like, I think 1100, 1200 at the time, and he was playing me tough, and I won the game, but then he's like, let's play again, let's do it again. He was ready to come back, and I think he even took me for a game. And I was thinking, he's got like that right attitude where, when he loses, he just wants to jump back on the horse and come after you some more.
Likes to play chess.
Yeah, and so I'm not surprised. Now he's 1600 plus, and he's like super young. Like I don't even know if he's 10 yet, but very strong player. Definitely one to watch. Dragonfish 9127, and now he's got a great test against a veteran, solid player like Christian Klemenz?
Well, this is White's a little better here, I'd say, with the two bishops and an open board. So, but there's still a lot of play left. That's for sure.
All right, let's check in on Elliot here.
Oh, yeah.
Adam.
You were talking about young players, and I immediately thought of Elliot.
Young at heart.
Yeah.
And that's about it, young at heart.
Well, White's rolling the board up here. You can see White's sort of playing all over the chessboard.
Yeah.
Trying to make a queen as well. And Elliot jumps on the chance to exchange those bishops, and now pawn c6 is undoubtedly about to be played. He's looking around, seeing if there's something better. But pawn c6, and of course, Black has just way too slow on the king side to do anything.
Let me jump to...
this game is pretty much over.
Simona Neiberg against Eric Lee. Eric Lee's Black.
And again, we're seeing this nice d5 square, and but White's maintains an aggressive stance, and that's important too. And not to just retreat, but make some attempts to activity like h4 and. The bishop g5 and the rook's on the open files, and so not going to make it easy for Black.
And I guess she played b3 to prevent anything from coming to c4.
Right. A useful move, definitely.
Prophylactic move.
Yeah. Putting a pawn also on a square not of her own bishop, but it's also, was it possible almost if the other rook was on d1, it might have been possible to play d5. I don't know.
Let me jump to see if anything is developed in Austin Mai's game.
All right, so Black is centralized with queen d4, and White's trying to find some, maybe king h1 was the right move back there to play pawn f3. You've encouraged the queen to come into d4, but was it something that you wanted to encourage? And that every move has consequences, For example, queen d2 is an idea now for Black to just by force exchange queens and be a piece up. That's how I'm thinking if I'm Black here.
Now, is there any situation in this position where White should give up the advantage just to sort of balance the position, because this looks pretty tight?
Well, White is a piece down, so needs to do something. And doing something by playing rook b1, sort of making the Black queen go to g4 looks like it might have been a mistake. I like the person, or Eric, I think, said in the chat, Keto said king h1 with the idea of pawn f3 would have been better.
I mean, this would be a big upset if Ryan can pull this off as Black.
Yeah, I'm not sure that, bishop c, and if bishop b2, queen d2, and there you go, or maybe even queen d5. So
let me move on to this game, because it looks like stuff has happened. This was Rui, as she's playing Black against Javier Silva.
Yeah, and we're seeing the sort of the the kind of things that happen in these positions. The knight dominant on d5, control of the c file, White having the worst bishop. Every Black piece except for the queen is better placed. So, but it still has to be won. But these positions are very, very good for Black. Very, very good for Black.
Just peeking in to see this now. Adam Mercado is down a lot, but is there any chance? Is there any hope here
Yeah, he's made some progress here. I think, boy, there's moves like knight h3 check, I was going to say, or knight f3 check. Does knight h3 actually do anything? Queen g6 coming up. That can be met by queen f1. Yeah, Elliot's allowed, or maybe Adam has gotten it together here to
Or can you play queen? Yeah. Oh, well, I was gonna say, if you could, can you play queen?
Now queen f1
takes
looks
g2.
safe. Yeah, this didn't work out here for black.
No.
And then white's about to make a new queen with pawn c7 or something. Queen f1. I don't see what black has here.
Yeah.
Black has no time for pawn e3.
All right, let me check in.
Yeah,
on,
this game is lost here. I'm pretty sure.
Let's check in on Simona's game here. Look like she's trying to push. Eric just played knight f6.
Oh, there goes a pawn. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Well, let's see, queen g3, knight h5, queen b8, bishop f8, bishop h6.
Yeah.
Or even better, bishop a3. So actually, queen g3 might be possible.
Knight
h5 doesn't work.
Queen g3 was played on the board.
Yeah, knight h5 doesn't work here. So black is not winning a pawn.
If anyone has just tuned in, this is round 2 of the Tuesday night marathon. The second round started at 8 p.m. It's G35 plus 2. Rounds 3 and 4 will be next Tuesday, and then rounds 5 and 6 the Tuesday after that. If you want to see the current standings and the pairings for this round, I've just posted them in the Twitch chat, so you can look at there. And we will be posting the pairings for round 3. I'm gonna have to check in with Chief Tournament Director Judith on that, if it'll be on the Monday before. But all the pairings are done manually, and we are doing them based on USCF over the board rating. So super cool stuff, and we're pairing all of the matches and the games, and we've exceeded the expected prize pool. We were looking for 40 paid entries. I think we got over 50. And growing. So again, thank you everyone for supporting the Mechanics Institute Chess Club and playing with us. And Eric's defending Queen C8. He's defending that Queen.
Right, but now White has White being able to play H takes G6, or maybe even H6 is double edged, and actually it's an interesting fighting move. Yeah, I kind of like H6. Safer is to take on G6 and just start liquidating, but now black is definitely going to want to play to trade queens. That should be black's foremost in black's mind here. And then the H6 pawn is probably going to be a liability. But so White deciding to play H6 is double-edged. Like I said, taking on G6 would have White's drawing chances increased quite a bit by being able to do that. But this is taking the game into a different kind of territory.
And breaking news right now, Judith has said we are going to have the pairings for round 3 Monday at noon, same as the Tuesday night marathon. So Monday at noon at the link that I posted earlier, you can check the pairings for round 3. So if you have any buy requests,
can you get buys for the first 2 rounds?
You can actually, and you can do that.
Okay, so Cam Echo, you've got 2 half-point buys.
And for those that want to register, there's the link if anyone wants to register for the TNM. And as long as you do it before Monday at noon, we'll get you buys for the first 2 rounds, and then put you in, pair you, and then you could be part of the action. So Knight G4 played on the board here. We're going to stay on this game for a little bit just because it looks interesting.
Yeah, Queen E5 looks like it's a mistake, and it lost the H6 pawn. So right away, White stuck their neck out with playing H6, but then didn't follow it up properly here. So a pawn is being lost.
Let me peek from this because this just looks like there's a lot going on here. That looks like an attack for the ages right there.
Yeah, White has been very aggressive in this game. It pays to play aggressively, and is a piece up as well. With probably, if Black, I think Black is going to resign here.
Yeah, there's no more checks. Like there's nothing else to do.
And you're a piece down, and Rook G8 and Rook D7, and yeah. All right.
Let's check in on the other good kind, Lauren Goodkind and Erica Malikin.
Okay. Thanks everybody for sticking with us here.
Yeah, thank you for joining, and we've had a good turnout for viewers for this Tuesday night marathon, and next week will be even more exciting as we get to the top players starting to play each other and fight each other out, and let's see
Black's done well here.
Who's the top gun.
Black has done well here to keep the game in suspense. And
now, can't Black do something like Bishop E4 and then look to put the knight to F5? Or
well, yeah, but
you don't
White
want to lock your bishop.
White could take on E7, and also this Queen A7 is kind of maybe a possibility. But also pawn to C4 needs to be considered for White. So I'm just throwing out moves.
Yeah.
But Bishop E4, for example, if Bishop E7, Rook E7, Queen A7 sets up the threat of Bishop G4 check.
Let me just jump to this game real quick. It's Elliot Winslow's game.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can jump all we like, but
there's no change, right? There's nothing.
Yeah. The threat is Rook H8 mate. I think Black is.
There's no.
Black has played a brave game, but
there's no miracles to be had here.
Elliot just seems to kind of was on cruise control after.
Well, Elliot has been playing phenomenal, crazy chess lately.
I know. It's a new serenity has entered his play.
Well, there might be something to it because I know that Alexei Root has been writing some articles about chess and food and what chess players eat to prepare. And I know Michael Walder contributed a recipe that he's made at home with Elliot and and everyone. And maybe there's something to it. Maybe Elliot's eating the cuisine now and sharpening up his play because he's been playing extraordinary chess.
Well, my opinion is that it's the lollipop that makes you the stronger player. If we want to talk about chess food.
Okay, what about this? Queen H5.
Nice move. I mean, it does threaten you.
Okay, I'm trying to build it up. There's nothing.
I keep moving my
thing about chess,
monitor.
Maybe if I turn it off and on, maybe it'll be different or something. All right, let's go to jump ahead.
Queen F5 check, of course, is easy.
Let's check again on Austin Mai's game because
Rook F3 would be good.
Austin is down a lot of material. He's trying to create an opportunity here.
So what happens after?
So let me go back. So this
just one move. Yeah, white played. Oh no, you don't have to go back. White played rook b7, and black's played knight d2.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, black's playing a brave game, and that's how you have to play chess. I mean, a bishop. Let's see. Bishop b2 is met by. What exactly? Bishop b2, maybe just queen takes d5. Yeah.
And Ryan, let me look this up.
I think white's in trouble here, probably, unless the white has a shot, like rook b4 or something that upset, if he can get the queen into e5.
Yeah, so that queen is just so passive right now.
And I like this idea, queen e2, knight f1, queen h5 check, g6, queen g5, as pointed out by Arakido 23. Nice idea. Is there a defense there to queen e7 mate? That's the kind of thing that white needs to be looking for. Very good move, queen e2. Interesting.
And let's...
maybe queen d5 if queen e2.
And maybe it's...
And maybe the same thing, check, g6 and queen g5. Amazing.
Let's check in on this game here. It's Tejas Mahesh. And he's playing, let me see. Tejas Mahesh and Roger Shi. And Tejas is white. And if you're a regular Mechanics Online player, you've received notifications from Chess TX9, who does some work for us in sending out tournament messages and volunteering. So,
well, black's up a pawn with a nice knight at d4. So it kind of looks at, and the bishop at a3 is not looking so great. The threat is knight e2 check here.
And
so this is maybe some trouble for white.
Elliot has won his game.
Okay.
Here's the Endgame Lab. We have Rui against Javier Silva.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Well, this looks like a draw. But why does white play pawn to f4, weakening? I guess there's just nothing black can do to win this.
And I know F-Pawn is probably watching this game, seeing if the student can hold.
Yeah, played well to get this, had an inferior position, but pawn f4 is certainly not necessary, and it's not a move that I would have played. It weakens the e4 square, but I mean the position is so kind of dead that white can just play king e3 and king f3 ad nauseum, and should be a routine draw. Well, that's an upset for sure. Black was better throughout this game, and but couldn't capitalize on her positional advantage.
All right, so let's check in. This game is just interesting here, Austin Mai's game, because because he's desperately trying to find compensation.
Arakido 23 has found a brilliant idea, and Queen G1 is a similar idea here.
For this game?
Queen H5 and Queen G5 is a terrific threat. Queen E2 might have been better because white could play Rook D1. So I'm not sure why. I guess the queen can go out to the queen side with Queen D1, but Queen E2 looked like a little improvement. But this is a great idea, and the kind of hidden tactics very difficult to see. So let's say black tries G6.
d6.
I mean, if queen takes d5, queen h5 check, and if g6, queen g5, and looks like it's almost over. Incredible.
So took the pawn on d5.
Oh, queen h5 check. I guess the queen can go back to e6 in defense. But black is in a crossfire of attack here, and if the other rook can join in, there's going to be some serious issues here for black.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, well, after queen h5, g6, queen g5, queen e6, rook d1, maybe the sort of simple rook d1.
And Eric Lee defeated Simona. This was the final position. And
wow. So I guess white's just very discouraged here.
Yeah,
has lost.
You lose that
has
pawn.
lost one pawn and is now faced with losing another pawn.
Yeah.
And so just gave up.
And it's Eric. I mean, I
think white had some chances in this game, and it's a kind of a bit of a didn't capitalize on all of the possibilities. Even here, queen f3 and d5, I'm not sure. Yeah, queen f3 keeps it a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, certainly white is lost.
And Eric's a tough player, so.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to this game and see if there's any action to be had. Let me see what other games are going here. Good kind. How's that game still going? Let's see. Let's check in on Lauren and Erica. Actually, let me switch. There we go.
Oh yeah, Erica's really been holding on this game.
There we go. But now Lauren's got that pawn on e5.
Well, she's always had that pawn, or at least, and there's the two bishops, but these are, and there's the idea of playing queen a7 as well. So, in fact, that looks like it, maybe bishop e7 first, and then queen a7.
So that,
Or maybe white wants to play pawn to c4. This is a tough, Erica's been hanging tough here. If queen a7, knight c6, queen a8, knight b8.
Oops. I just flipped to Akko Hidari's game.
That's okay.
Sort of by accident. But it's funny because this game looks like it's, still...
Knight at b7,
Still in the early stages.
Oh, I don't know. It looks like black might be in some trouble. Could be getting into some trouble here with knight d5 coming up. Like if the king's in check, so king g7, then knight d5, maybe. Yikes! And then taking on e7 and playing bishop b2, and that's just that's going to be it.
You saw all of that, huh?
Well. Oh, maybe the king should go to h7. That would be safer. Then knight d5, queen g7, d6. All right. Well, then I can just take on e7 and then take on c6, if nothing else. Yeah, black is king g7 is worse than king h7. Now knight d5 is super powerful. Yeah, king g7 just makes black's game worse.
Let me flip to Christian Klemenz and Imran Chomsky.
Okay. We're seeing a lot of these kind of blockade,
like locked
on
up
d5 kind of positions.
Locked up games.
Here, though, white's up a pawn, and things are. If I'm black, I'm kind of confident of maybe being able to hold this. I'm just down a pawn, but
Elliot's in the chat
bishops
now.
of opposite colors. Hi, Elliot. 2 smooth games. We're just praising your play lately. You've been playing them very well. And since Michael Walter's here, how come you're not playing Michael Walter?
Let me jump to this game because you said this is a dead draw, but I'm going to maintain that Rui is trying to win it somehow. So,
well, sure, of course. F4 was a real stinker of a move, but this is still a draw.
Okay, so if Rui being Rui, what would she be thinking? What does she need to do? F5?
Well, she wants to make a pass pawn. If one of the players can make a pass pawn, all you're thinking about here is making a pass pawn or being able to play king to e4. Black can play king to e4 somehow. Induce white to leave. So here's Elliot's. Here Elliot is. Get white to take on g5. What do you mean, get white to take on g5? So if white plays pawn takes g5, then maybe white cannot lose that because white can play g3 and h4 and get a pass pawn on the king side as well.
And Michael's saying white has the tempo by playing b3.
That's true. That might play into account at some point.
All things to think about in the endgame.
It's just going to be a blockade unless somebody makes a mistake here.
Let me flip to
white
this.
Just plays pawn to g4. There's no way anything can happen here. Black ran with king g1. And rook c1 came, and then queen takes d5. Exciting game. The game of the round.
Yeah, this is
somehow
action.
Action Jackson.
A lot of action Jackson here. Why can't? Oh, because the rook's hanging.
Rook c7.
But can't you just take rook takes d7 and then play rook d? No, you can't because of knight.
Knight d2. That's still not clear, by the way.
Knight d6. Oh, no, you can't do knight d6.
Rook d7 and then rook d1 is definitely a possibility here.
Oh. Yeah, this is kind of a fun game to go.
Yeah, also rook c to c7 seems to be powerful. If the bishop moves, bishop to e7 is mate. And black can't play queen d1 because if queen takes d1.
Look at that.
So what happens on rook c7?
Yeah. And black can't play queen d1.
Black can't play queen d1. He can't move the bishop because of bishop e7 mate. Knight f6 maybe?
Oh, wow. He took the bishop.
Yeah, maybe knight f6 was strong. So now he took the bishop, and if king takes rook d1, knight d2, white can win the bishop, win the knight at d2, but maybe black has time to organize a defense. But white has queen f5 check too, maybe. Black can take with the queen, rook d1, knight d2, and then bishop b4. Black has to run and get out of the pin. This is still, white has a raging initiative here. Who's watching the Twitch?
I wonder if he's referring to the player watching the Twitch, but unfortunately, the person that was recommending rook takes d7 was me, so that's not the one.
No, rook d7 was maybe the best move there. Too many checks for white. Yeah, there's a lot of white is just going to be on a rampage here.
Yeah, this was quite.
This is quite a fighting game. Yeah. And yeah.
Let me peek at other stuff. Oh, okay, so we have a move. King takes.
All right, so rook d1. I mean, maybe queen f5 check even. But then the king goes to e8, and I don't see a follow-up.
Right.
So rook d1, and then knight d2, I suppose.
But then what after knight d2?
Bishop b4.
You have to, because you have to hit the
Or
knight
maybe
one more
you
time.
can. Maybe you could even play queen f5 check first. Yeah, play queen f5 check first.
But can you do that? Because then you don't have the. Yeah.
Or also, somebody's pointing out queen g5 after knight d2. But then knight f3 check, so that's not so good, Michael. It's nice having this live chat with these chess masters.
Right, and it's like the
Yeah,
strong
it's fantastic.
couple of masters in there.
Yeah, we're able to sort of like spar with each other.
And this isn't exactly straightforward, right?
Yeah, no engines. That's right. So I guess after rook d1, white needs to keep the queen protecting the rook after knight d2, and needs to play bishop b4 maybe right away. And then black has to get out of the pin. Rook d2 is a horrible threatening. Maybe rook b8 then, but then white's got queen f5 check. It's a complete mess here, a complete mess. And despite being down a rook, white's attack is very strong.
Let me quickly peek on this game. This is Tejas Mahesh. Looks like he may have found a way here against I think it was Roger She's his opponent. Yeah.
So now bishop f8.
Bishop f8. Bishop f8. Wow, what a move.
And the thing is, what can black do? Black can't play queen d1 check like in our other game because of rook d1. The same issue.
Bishop f8. That's a fantastic move.
Well, it's logical. It sort of piles up on the pin piece. It's not too insane. I've got a crazy move after bishop f8 though. Knight e7. Does that actually work?
Bishop f8, knight e7.
But then queen e7. It almost works. It doesn't quite work. Bishop f8, knight e7. I'm trying to find a move there.
Yeah, this is some tactics around there.
Maybe bishop f8, knight d8.
And for those in suspense, there has not yet been a move played in that other game. I am watching that. So as soon as I see a move played in Austin Mai's game and Ryan Wang,
cool.
We'll flip over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some interference move for black. Somebody's come up with yeah. Is queen g7 a threat after bishop f8? No, Elliot. Elliot's seeing ghosts here.
And
but bishop f8, I'm not sure I see a defense there. Look, he finds it.
It was played, bishop f8.
Yeah. No windmill. So black gets a move, maybe even two moves here, but is it enough? He'd like to play a check on the back rank, but he can't because of the rook at d7. Can he throw in maybe knight d4?
All right, let me switch over
Yeah,
here.
knight d4. Knight d4.
So
Threatening queen d1 check.
he played in this. Austin Mai played queen takes f5 check instead of going rook d1.
Well, he has to have this calculated out to a win, because after king e8,
Yeah,
where's the follow-up?
and he took considerable time calculating this.
Well, let's see, king e8. Well, I mean, taking your time, you still have to see the right moves. Rook c8 check, rook takes c8, queen c8, king f7. Black's getting out. Queen h8, queen d1 check. Could he have missed rook d1? And what's Black thinking about here? King.
He couldn't have missed rook e1.
I guess king d8. King e8 looks like the instinctive move here, but I mean, maybe White's going to play rook e1, but that doesn't seem as good an idea. Yeah, queen f5 check is a little bit funny, you know, unless you're hoping for queen e6, rook c7 check or something like that.
Going back to this other game just really quick, it looks like knight d4 was played.
Yeah, that's the move I suggested before we moved.
Yeah.
Well, here we are seeing the slash of chess tactics here.
All right, Endgame Lab, real quick. Here we go, Rui and Javier Silva. Still draw?
What did they do here? Unbelievable how White has maybe messed this up. Yeah, White's just losing now. Take on g3 and then take on h4 and go into the center with the king. This is the kind of thing that you do not want to happen.
And just real quick, this was the sequence here, right?
Yeah.
Everything looks fine and still fine.
Keep going. Now, yeah. Now just play g3. Yeah, even that's good. Yeah, Black. Now,
was that
that looks like a bad move.
That was the move right there.
Yeah, and White finds this h4 idea to try to make an outside pass pawn, but now comes
king g6.
Oh yeah, king g6. Maybe White can still play take on. Yeah, that may be a mistake here, right, allowing f4 check.
And this is
this is where we're White at. Maybe White has no move here in any way. This is now lost.
It's totally lost, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, Rui, as expected.
And White has plenty of time as well to try to calculate some variations.
All right, so back to this game. King e8 was played.
I think king e3 was a losing move.
And then h3.
h3. So White thinks he has all the time in the world here. Amazing.
Well, now he's playing h3, so he can play rook c7, right? And now the rook can come off the rank.
This is like, Mikhail Tal or something like that. It's incredible.
And Rui did win her game, so Rui 2-0.
Amazing. What a swindle that game is.
Yeah.
The endgame, the gap that you can see right here, folks, the gap that exists between the stronger player and the weaker player is most noticeable in the endgame.
And especially the endgame, because it's one move is all it takes.
Yeah, and where the most precision is required, and it's just amazing.
All right, so now what?
I don't know. Is Black consolidating? Okay, so White can play rook c8 check.
Yeah, now wait a minute.
And then rook takes, queen takes, king must go to f7, because if queen d8, queen e6 check wins for White. Then queen takes h8, but then Then queen a2, and black is better.
Black is better, but now like a pawn better rather than a rook.
Right, rather than a rook better. The attack was strong.
Yeah.
But like Arakido 23 says, White's threatening to go into a lost ending.
Let's take a look at
that was then and this is now.
Let's take a look at this jumbled up.
So knight d4 was played, and I guess bishop f1 was played, and then queen c2.
And actually, White is super short on time here. Like seconds left on the clock,
and maybe lost.
That would be somewhat surprising to me. They couldn't convert on a position like that. I mean, it looked...
Well, I mean, black found this nice knight d4 move, and which we didn't get a chance to analyze. Still tough, though.
And now we're looking at the time.
Black can play knight h4 check, queen e4, and queen takes b4. But then White might be left with bishop c4 at the end, and all the pin there is terrible.
And White would love to go bishop d3, right?
Yeah, and the pin is really a problem here for black.
He's down a lot of material. Like he's down a...
Well, White's going to go
bunch of pawns.
Rook c7, and so black needs to think of a sequence here to maintain the advantage here. Just exchanging queens might not be enough. I mean, you're 3 pawns up.
Right.
You hope that it's a win when you exchange.
So, but White's got some chances here still.
White's looking to pawn grab a little bit too.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Try to make up some ground. Quick peek into Erica's game here against Lauren Goodkind. The queen did get to a7 like you thought.
Right. And Erica is on the precipice of a disaster here. Queen a7, queen a8 check, and takes on b7 check. Yikes.
Oh, there's that. Oh, yeah. Yep. All right, yeah, because something's going to happen on b7 there pretty quick. Let me flip to this game.
Yeah, but it's still not 100% clear, or is it? Yeah.
So here's what happened. Rook c5 was played by Austin.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to hand it to White. White's just got I'm going to play slow and.
Yeah, he seemed pretty patient given all
very patient. However, black can bail now with queen takes c5 with probably a better position.
You think?
With the 2 rooks versus the queen.
And do you think it will occur to black to do that? Because that's take a lot of courage.
Black castle. Somebody asking if black castle.
Cannot.
Yeah, queen d1 checking castles would be fantastic. Yeah. But it's illegal. And after queen d1 check, king h2, I'm not sure what black can do in that position.
All right, jump in real quick. Tejas Mahesh is trying to survive with less than 5 seconds on the clock, but he got 1 pawn back, and he's looking to try to make up some ground if he can.
Oh, yeah. Look at suddenly the king. You always get scared in positions like this because suddenly the king is
King's a fighting
infiltrating into your position, and
now
you're
starting
in
to
danger
mate.
of getting checkmated. Yeah.
Starting to mate with the king and the rook, and then
exactly.
Bishop will sneak in a check.
Yeah, and not only that, but your own pawns provide cover for the white pieces. Yeah.
So while black might be tempted to kind of move quick, you got to watch out.
Rook F2 is a nice move. All right, King G6. Well, then knight E5 check. Oh, so white has a draw here.
Oh, he could have played bishop takes B4, B5 check.
Yeah, that's an obvious move. Now knight D4 check and rook takes F1. Yep.
You missed that
sad
move.
end. A sad end.
Yeah, that's too
Sometimes
bad.
you create these possibilities and then you don't take advantage of them. Yeah.
All right, let's move to the game of the century right here. Look at that. So black wanted to hang on to the queen.
So can white play Queen G5 here? That's what happens.
Elliot's chanting defense in the chat.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Queen B1 and Queen G6. I think white's starting to that's all she wrote. Yeah. Elliot and I see the same thing.
Queen B1 and then Queen G6.
Yeah. And then you're up a rook.
F-Pawn saying in the chat, a prominent FM once castled queenside with the king's rook on A1 in a FIDE-rated game at Mechanics. Nobody noticed until they got home.
That's right. Over the board play allows crazy stuff.
I have to ask if that prominent FM.
Who was that prominent FM? That's the difference between experts and FIDE masters. That is funny.
And one of the kids in one of Paul's camps renamed FM Fun Master instead of FIDE Master. So
I don't know what black's thinking about here. Queen B1 and Queen G6 is.
It was played. Queen B1.
White's starting to run out of gas here.
Tejas did lose that game. Tough game. Akko Hidari won his game, so congrats to him.
Wow, Titan Chess had this game maybe with that was a brilliant attack, but just conducted a little bit too slowly, I think.
I wonder what would have happened if he had played the Rook E1.
Rook to D1.
Rook D1.
Yeah.
And now Austin's got 10 seconds left on the clock, and there's probably not a pathway here. Although there's still annoyances that can be done. Yeah,
there's definitely annoying possibilities here.
Because it's not like the rooks on H8 and A8 are having any effect right now.
Yeah, and of course I just saw that too. H5 with knight G4 ideas. Yeah, this is now.
I mean, the threat here is Queen C4, yeah?
Well, black's going to make Luft and play H5, right? And that's going to be it.
Whoa. That is a game I had open that has no relevance to the tournament.
Oh, is that right? Huh.
Yeah, I must have had a game open somewhere, and it was some tournament.
Huh.
Yeah, so he's going to escape. He's going to create an escape square. Quick
yeah, that'll take care of the Queen C4 check idea.
Wow, somehow it looks like Erica sort of survived what looked like was an onslaught.
Well, I'm not sure if that's true yet. I think... Yeah, and white missed a mate there with Queen B4 check, Queen A5 check, and C5 check. Yeah. White missed a force mate. Go back a move. So we get R2. Yeah, go back a move or two.
Even more here?
Yeah.
Check.
Okay, so in this position, with the pawn at C4, yeah. King D6.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. King D6. And now C4, I guess. Yeah. C4.
Yeah, C4. And queen there. And
oh, okay. So I'm sorry, I had the wrong position. I guess queen B4 check was maybe better.
So this is the current position.
Now queen A5 check. Oh, but then king D6, C5, king E7.
Whoa, took on E6.
Oh, yeah, that's hanging. That's it. Didn't see that one. Yeah. Now white's mating threats are huge here. Queen B6 check. Poor Erica. It was a good fight this game.
And here we are, and now it's sort of unraveling, and Ryan Wang has finished the game off against Austin Mai.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
a great defensive effort, I guess.
This might be the last game of the round right here.
Is that right?
Yeah, Lauren Goodkind and Erica Malikan.
Queen B6 check.
And she closed the show.
C6 check. Or Queen B8 mate. Yeah,
that is it.
Better.
Fantastic win
tactics,
by Lauren Goodkind. Fantastic win. So I think that is a wrap for the round. Round 2 is in the books, I believe, for the Tuesday night marathon. We'll probably get an update from Judith if all the games are finished, and I don't know if we will be. Knowing Judith, I'm sure she's going to post the standings after 2 rounds, and then we'll put it in the chat. If there we go. This was the first 2 rounds of the Tuesday night marathon, G35 plus 2. Rounds 3 and 4 will be next Tuesday. We will have the pairings up next Monday by noon, same as we've always done with the Tuesday night marathon. The one thing that I do know from the standings is Kyron Griffith, Eric Lee, Elliot Winslow, Rui have 2 points. I'm going to have to see the other results, see who else has 2 in the 1600 plus section. And in the bottom section, we'll have to see if Daniel Perlov and Charlene Kwok and your student, Rama, if they've continued with 2 points. We'll have to see. So for those of you kind of like checking us right now, there's Felix right there in the chat. I think Judith may be trying to get results from a couple of games. We will input them, post the standings, and then first 2 rounds are in the books.
Wow. Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah, this was some exciting chess, and I think by next week we'll have... if you're one of the players still watching, I'm going to send a friend invite to everyone that's participating in the tournament. So look for a friend request from Mechanics Chess, and then I'll be a lot more easily able to follow and call on you, follow your games, and then put it up. Because we've manually paired this tournament, you can't find this tournament and see all the games. You're going to have to rely on our website just to see the standings and the pairings and all the results. But that sort of gives it the Mechanics tournament feel, because everything is we're in charge of inputting everything, so it makes it really cool. But it was fantastic. We pulled it off. I'm really excited. This was the first time we've done the tournament this way, and Judith's been amazing, and she's still awake because she just said something in the chat. So, Judith, just out of curiosity, will we be seeing the updated standings tonight, and I'm not sure. And I mean, Judah, I mean, she's pulling an all-nighter, and she's in Hungary. So fantastic! It's a fantastic evening of chess at the Tuesday Night Marathon, and the lollipop is still alive. That's like
So I'm gonna say,
everlasting gobstopper.
Before I leave tonight, who loves you, baby?
So
Kojak is in the house.
So everyone, for the moment, we're gonna wish you a good night. We will be posting all the results on the tournament link, and we will be doing a Facebook post tomorrow about the first 2 rounds and the link and everything. But the pairings for rounds 3 and 4 will come out next Monday at noon. And if you want to request a buy for any round through round 6, let us know. You have to let us know of any buys for the last 2 rounds before the start of next Tuesday, to kind of keep with our normal tradition.
Now, one more question. We have Nick annotating games for the newsletter. How does Nick get a hold of some of these games for the newsletter?
I have access to the games because I can look them up on chess.com by just
I guess anybody could, right?
Anybody could. Right. So I'll pick up some games. This will definitely be one of them, the one with Austin Mai that we were following. And we'll break down the games and show the standings and the whole 9 yards. So
we had some good games tonight, everybody.
This tournament was definitely felt like the TNM was back. It had a different feel than the Tuesday night online we've been doing. Titan Chess, Austin Mai. Yeah, if you watch the broadcast, we spent significant time on your game watching it and breaking it down. So it was a fantastic game to follow. So check it out. Yeah, there was a lot of commentary on it. So, but thank you for providing the action, even in defeat. So, all right, everyone, we're going to sign out.
What a great community.
Yeah, thank you to the Mechanics Chess community and everyone that's kind of joining us. We're going to be back next week to do it again, and looking forward to it. But we will be posting the standings, so just keep checking the site. We'll be doing that shortly. And have a good night, everyone. Enjoy the evening. Enjoy the lollipop. Enjoy the drink, whatever you're choosing to do. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Bye.